Did that Marine get away okay? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think they're all dead.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to RSL Season 5. We're so excited to be back. It's been about a month off, but here we are, going strong.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great season, hopefully. Last season was awesome. I mean, I think it was kind of the season of upsets. So many crazy things were happening last time.
Yeah.
And we got some new players coming on in this time as well. We finally have the best race ratio coming into the round of 16 since Season 1. It's totally equal. We got 6, 5, and 5 for Protoss, Terran, and Zerg. It's
Golden
gonna be
ratio.
Really nice.
Yeah, that's the best ratio by far that we've had ever here in the RSL. Yeah, and we've already come in here with a couple of improvements here for this season. So we're excited to continue on here for our tournament. I don't know, it's going to be back.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited. Here are the groups that we've got set up so far for the next couple of days. Today is going to be Group A, tomorrow Group B, but today it's going to be Classic, Rogue Maru, and our newcomer, GgMaChine, coming in with a nice qualification, coming in after beating Bunny and Percival in the qualifiers. Will be joining this group of death.
This is exciting. Some faces that we haven't had here before in the RSL. Obviously, GgMaChine, a welcome addition. We also have Shameless here in Group C. Lambo is going to be playing in Group D as well. Very exciting to have him in the tournament. But we've got quite the lineup of players. I think this is great. When we have players that are young, that are new, that are maybe, if you watch only a certain amount of StarCraft, you might not see these guys as much. These are the guys that are kind of carrying the torch for the whole new generation of competitive StarCraft 2 players.
Yeah, I mean, GgMaChine literally was 1 year old when StarCraft 2 came out.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, here's our schedule as well for the entire season. Today, of course, is Saturday, May 2nd, so we're going to be going on every single weekend coming up here, except for the 17th, which is reserved, of course. The GSL finals are happening that day, so you're going to be over there doing that. So that will just be 1 day or 1 week where we have a Friday instead of the Sunday schedule.
Yeah, so GSL is going to be on for those two blocks you can see during the week. And then we're going to be back here with... in the very final 2 days of the month, we are going to have our longer days here for the RSL. So on the 30th and the 31st, that'll be starting a little bit earlier. We've kind of squished and compacted. I think we basically figured out exactly the rhythm of the show here. We started out with a couple extra days, and some days were like quite short. Then others were long, which is fine. But we thought, okay, with some of these short days, why don't we just stick them together and give you guys more, for your sitting. Once again, Archon Studio is back, and they are supporting us here. They are the premier tabletop miniatures game company in the world, and they are honoring our favorite game, StarCraft, with an insanely sick set of miniatures here. They've got Terran, Protoss, and Zerg. Every month, we're getting new stuff from them. Their products have been amazing. And we're just so grateful they're supporting StarCraft esports. And, I think what they've made is incredible. And it truly is, I think, honoring what StarCraft is, right? It's not a sullied product. What they made is up to par with what you'd expect as a fan of StarCraft.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, of course, our Patreon. This is how we are funding this whole event. This is where StarCraft is at right now. We've been absolutely floored with all the support that you guys have been giving us so far in the last year or so. This is the stuff that you can possibly get out of those tiers as well. We got the Stalker tier. We got the Immortal tier for all those different people as well. You can get replays. You can vote on different players. You can vote on maps to get voted on into the tournament as well. So you can take your pick of what you would like, or you can just sign up for free and just get notifications as well, because we all love getting so many emails.
Yes. We do have spoiler-free VODs on the YouTube. Only about 51% of the people that watch us on YouTube are subscribed. And honestly, even if you're watching, like, let's say live on Twitch or wherever else you're watching on stream, we want to have you join our YouTube, because that's going to help push our content out to as many people who are not able to watch live as possible. And then we get a lot of cross-pollination. Those people come back. When they do have time, they'll join us live on stream. So, please consider subscribing. It really does help us.
And here's our map pool updated for season number 5. We had the Patreons vote, and we have a couple maps that were voted out. Mothership, Taito Citadel, and Throne of the Dunes were voted out. And we got At Eternity's Edge, X-Arc, and Rorschach, I think is how you say. Rorschach? I'm not sure.
Rorschach.
Rorschach, I think, yeah. Those were the voted in maps as well.
Do you know what a Rorschach is?
Yeah,
like a
that's
Rorschach test.
It's
like
the ink blot test.
Ink blot thing where you it really shows what you see.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the StarCraft Reddit where it's like it's not what the game really is. It's what you guys think it is when you see the game. That's what Rorschach is.
Nice. We'll get some great insight then when we see that map coming on in. But yeah, X-Arc is actually a 4-player map as well, so that's going to be really cool if we can get that one in the rotation at all. All these new maps are from the recent TLMC that just had some finalists posted as well, so some really cool new maps getting voted in, so we'll hopefully get some new ones in today.
And I think we've killed it here with the map pools.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of new interesting maps. Our Patreon community has, I think voted to keep this interesting, but also still keep it competitive. So we really appreciate you guys and the map makers out there. You guys are the unsung heroes a lot of times of this game. And it looks like we're ready to start this off. So Classic, one of the most dominant players here in the RSL, but also in the rest of StarCraft 2, an absolute killer with Protoss, going up against young GgMaChine.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be very interesting. This could not be more of a David versus Goliath match. This is absolutely insane. Classic, one of the most storied players we have in the scene, and GgMaChine. If you might have never even heard of him, to be honest, at this point. I mean, he's played in a lot of the open cups and stuff like that. He's played in Roddy's big brain bouts and stuff like that here and there. So you might know him if you watch some of those, but if you watch like the big, huge premiere events, you might not have heard of him. So this might be your introduction.
Okay, getting into our game, GgMaChine here in the bottom right and Classic here in the top left. PVZ has had a lot of long macro games. I don't know if that's what Classic wants to go this time around. I do think this is a very favored matchup here for Classic, which means he might have, there's a lot of ways you can play the game when you're favored, right? I mean, you might do some weird strat that you think you could just get away with, and then you don't have to worry about showing the other stuff you have in the rest of the tournament. You might want to play like a really bland, generic style that's kind of like, let's just look at what he does. I'm going to react to it and stop it.
That is true, but then you can also, of course, go for the mega aggressive version as well. And I do remember a fun little tidbit from Classic himself. I remember, I'm glad Ryan is not here, but State played against Classic in Pro League way back, and Classic was the guy that he played against. And guess what Classic did? He proxy 2-gated him and owned him.
Wow.
So, if you're a newcomer on the scene, Classic, I think, is someone that is not going to be afraid to throw something right in your face sometimes as well.
Well, this is the thing. I actually heard this from a coach a long time ago, like when I first moved here before StarCraft 2 was even out, where they said a lot of times when you think you're like way better than the player, just do something basic that engages them early, and they'll like...
They just fall apart.
The nerves kick in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, like, I'm not warmed up yet. So, let's see what happens in this game here now. So we had the blocking probe come down to force the hatchery over onto the third base location. And we got to see what kind of game we're going to get here. Obviously, GgMaChine can also try to do something pretty, aggro or crazy, right? Like, he's got a lot of different ways he could approach this as well. Also, PVZ does seem to, from time to time, and I think now is no exception, go into some pretty long macro games as well. So maybe we do have a long, dramatic, drawn-out game.
Yeah, it's possible, of course. It just depends on what each player is wanting to bring to the table so far in this opening series. GgMaChine, I believe he does go for some generally aggressive things. I haven't watched a ton of his games myself, to be honest with you, so I don't remember exactly his styles that he does prefer. If he likes to go for like the Hydra Bane all-ins or Roach Queen aggression or anything like that, but we'll see what he wants to bring in here on Necropolis, which is one of the relatively newer maps. We had this voted in last season, which is, I think, a pretty cool map overall. I do like the layout of it as well. You get a nice 3-base setup pretty nicely. The little low ground position in between those bases can be nice and good to defend. The probe coming on in again, we'll be able to deny. Even throws out a pylon. A little bit of disrespect coming out of Classic to make sure that this this third base cannot get taken much earlier. Yeah,
Classic really optimizing. Oh my God, he's going to come in here and kill the drone!
Yes! Oh, I love this play. So this is because Classic noticed it's only 2 Zerglings. If you try to be a little bit greedy and go for only 2 Lings, you can get this interaction to play out in this way. And Classic able to punish GgMaChine for going a little bit light on the Zerglings with that, trying to kill off the probe. So that's going to bite him in the butt. Loses that 3rd base for a good portion of time.
Yeah. You know, those are little tactics you don't get to see that often at the pro level, but when you're like playing obviously a lot, there are these small errors that some players can make where you're like, oh yeah, you need more than 2 Lings here.
Yep.
You know, you're not going to be able to stop the pylon from warping in at that pace. I can get an adept over here. I can kill that. And the problem now is that GgMaChine is just slowed down, you know, by a couple percent. And honestly, slowing down the 3rd hatchery for Zerg, that's a lot.
Yeah, and at the cost of almost nothing. It's 25 minerals to cancel the pylon. It's like absolutely nothing. He has made extra Lings at this point now to try and pressure the 3rd base, and he will actually catch the Adepts in an awkward position, so we'll get one of them, but then the Oracle comes in to save the day, so those will get shoved away for now. But Classic will be feeling still pretty fine with the situation, sees that the Lings are made in kind of a panic move from GgMaChine, and doesn't really take too much damage as a result, and still has that delayed 3rd base on the other side. So Classic should be feeling pretty happy with how this early game has gone for him.
Okay, so the Queens are going to come down now and get set up over here at the 3rd base here. Evo Chambers on the way, along with Spores. It's going to be Adept Glaives, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And immediately, Classic runs in here. He will lose 1 Oracle, but he's going to kill... Actually, this did not go well. I thought he was going to kill 5 drones or so. He only got 3, and he lost an Oracle. So he got a little bit too gung-ho there.
Yeah. Definitely was looking a little bit too far into the future, expecting to just get a few of those drones more so than he expected. So, yeah, that's not great from Classic, but the Adept follow-up is going to be coming in very hot. Of course, that is something that the Zerg player needs to scout to make sure they have the right read, to know that that is coming, and to be able to get the defenses up in time. Classic trying to go for an ankle breaker of a move with this fast Adept play, but then still transitioning out into Templar as well. So not going fully all in with it, just going to be going for some pressure. Thankfully for GgMaChine, the Overlord does come on in and scout the Twilight Council researching, but he, I believe, sees both. Was that the Twilight or the Fort? Okay, he saw the Templar archives morphing in there as well, so it could be a little deceiving with this scout, because it might just look like he's going for a normal blink play anyways. So if GgMaChine actually knows what's happening, it's still unsure at the moment.
Okay, it's so important that GgMaChine has enough. 12 Lings are about to hatch. We saw 1 more drone about to pop out here, and he's making a 2nd drone, which means he probably doesn't know this is coming yet. He just started up a new one. Plus 1 attack's going to be done.
I just saw his reaction to the camera as well. Not exactly happy seeing that many Adepts coming on in, because there's really only a few Lings here against a couple of Glaive Adepts. This is going to be really bad. The Queens are doing a decent job to throw out some nice DPS, but those Lings die out really quickly, and now the drones are under threat.
Yeah, and he's going to be killing a lot of drones here in the main. Looks like he's going to get at least 6 before they can actually get back out, and now this is where he can shade and continue to outmaneuver his opponent. Got a couple of Adepts over here, but they're attacking the hatchery instead of the drones.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit awkward there for Classic, but we'll be able to retarget them, and that's going to be very hard now for GgMaChine, as there's 2 sets of Adepts going in different directions here. He's got to be able to get these drones in a safe location, but there's really no safe spot at the moment, as the Lings are still trying to find these Adepts. The Queens just running around as well, and 14 drones so far have gotten killed off, and almost none of the Adepts have really died.
Yeah. He is continuing to clean this up. We're at 21 dead drones, now 22. And there's still 4 Adepts over here. And, I mean, this really puts GgMaChine in a really tough spot. 64 probes to 40 drones. He's still able to send a couple of Adepts here and there and continue to get some of these drones wherever he can.
Oh my god, he's going to get another one.
Yeah, 25.
25 on the way out. That is just absolutely brutal. Almost walked into that stasis ward as well. Thankfully, we'll be able to split off a drone there, but that is catastrophic damage coming into GgMaChine's early game right now. He's going to be sending his Lings across the map, and he's going to be met with a front wall of 3 fat Archons right there. Nothing going to get done by those Zerglings. The worst interaction they could come up against.
And I wouldn't be shocked if we just have a very basic Archon Zealot timing attack come out here. GgMaChine has been beaten down so hard. He's on 5 bases, but you know, it's not going to be economically functioning like it's 5 bases at all. I mean, there's been so many drones killed here. Even now, an Oracle's going to slide through and get a couple more. GgMaChine is cranking out a lot more drones in a game of catch-up, but the 4th base Nexus has started. The Warp Prism is halfway done, which is probably going to be paired with a push. And from there, I don't know that GgMaChine can hang on.
Yeah, he's going to try to get Baneling speed up. He's going to try to get some Banelings to help against the Zealots. Of course, they're going to be pretty good in that interaction, but it's just a numbers game at this point is going to be the biggest problem because GgMaChine, sure, he's at 70 drones again, but that is so much larva that needed to get put back into drones that he didn't want to, of course. That's 25 drones, I think it was, that got killed off. So that's a ton of larva that is not going to be army units. And you can just see the differential right now. 71 to 42 army supply. This is a gigantic army, and GgMaChine has almost nothing to actually fight this engagement.
Yeah, this is a lot coming in here. The Zealots, the Archons, and I mean, right now it's just Lings and Queens. The Banes are going to come out here, but you know, they can take out Zealots, but you know, Banelings obviously are horrible against Archons, and that was a thrashing. Classic crushing there versus GgMaChine. GgMaChine, you know, he had a rough start all the way going back to the 3rd hatchery, getting set up there with that Adept. And I really appreciate that we got to see a game like that because you don't oftentimes get to see really advanced techniques like that at the highest level because, like, let's say it's another Zerg player, maybe we're more used to like Solar or something, right? They won't have just 2 links there.
Yeah. But
it's one of those things when you've played as much as Classic has, and GgMaChine, he's good, but he's obviously still very new, right? And very young. He goes, okay, I know this one trick. If I send my Adept right through here, before you can kill the pylon, I will kill your drone.
Yeah.
And I will slow this down. And then I will cancel the pylon. And everything in a macro game of StarCraft, mistakes early on, it ripples into the rest of the game.
Yeah, especially when you're going for a Glaive Adept build like that too. With the 3rd base being so delayed, the creep spread is going to be delayed as well, so it's going to be harder to actually move things back and forth between the 2 bases, so the Adepts have just so much more leverage in that actual engagement. So just overall nice game plan from Classic. Whether or not he altered it based off of how he got that pylon block, I'm not sure exactly. I feel like this is probably something he was just going to do no matter what anyways. It's basically a skill check build order if you try to go for a Glaive timing like that. So GgMaChine unable to defend that one. Let's see if Classic's going to come out with anything more aggressive this time, or if he's going to try to bring it back and go a little bit more macro.
Okay, this time around, GgMaChine in the top right, Classic here in the bottom left. And yeah, I mean, Classic really knew what he was doing there. It was also clear that even though GgMaChine was tripped up, he had no idea that Adept attack was coming. I mean, even from the look on his face, but even to like the drones he was making as the Adepts are moving out, you know.
I mean, he was going +1 Ling against an Adept build. Like, that is not what you want. Like, that is probably the worst interaction you can get. I mean, it totally caught him off guard. Like I said, that Overlord coming on in, seeing the Forge and the Templar Archives coming as well, almost feels like a planned interaction from Classic, knowing that an Overlord might come into Scout, but it still looks like it's going to be a blink opener or something like that, something more standard, because you don't normally get the Templar Archives that quickly when you're going for the Glaive build. So the fact that misinformation kind of came GgMaChine's way, I think kind of lended towards why he took so much damage in that particular game. So we'll need to be a little bit more on top of the scouting, just needs to be a little bit more solid to hopefully get the game going in a more stable position so he can maybe show what he's made of a little bit more. Because that game, really, he didn't seem to get anything going. He didn't have any leverage in the map. So hopefully GgMaChine can come out with something a little bit more strong this time.
Yeah, Classic was really able to drag GgMaChine out of the game before he could really get anything started. You know, that was a really good kind of pressure play. Lead into a timing attack, into a killing blow. But let's see what exactly Classic wants to do this time around. I don't know that the Adept play, by the way, from Classic was premeditated. I think he basically got a pretty good start and went, oh, I think we can probably, make something work as far as the timing goes.
We'll see what he wants to do this game, of course, because the options are pretty wide when it comes to Classic in this particular interaction. Just because he is such a veteran player, you can kind of do whatever you want, it feels like, as Classic. He could go for those very long macro games, which he's absolutely incredible at, by the way. I mean, like, he goes toe-to-toe with Seoul in these incredible late-game scenarios, so it's not like he doesn't know how to do that or anything. So if Classic just wants to drag this one out and just make GgMaChine suffer, like, that's totally an option for him as well. So yeah, this is just we're just trying to find different ways to say that GgMaChine is having a real hard time.
Yeah.
And this is a massive mountain that he has to climb. We don't really know exactly what he needs to do to be able to do it.
This is a tough group for him, honestly.
This is an insane group. Rogue, Maru, and Classic, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's no joke. So we'll see what exactly he can do here. But I mean, I'm so excited to have him in our tournament. I love seeing new faces in StarCraft 2, especially because a lot of the stuff I cast, it's the same people always. Yep. That it's great to see a tournament as high level as ours. We got GgMaChine getting this far. And let's not cut him out yet. Let's see what he can do in this next game here. So far, this has gone a lot smoother than game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Not getting his third base denied, which is really good. He's got plenty of Lings on the field already, so the double Adept should likely do nothing. I would be very surprised if Classic wants to finish this. So yeah, we'll just be canceling, getting information as much as possible, and then be pairing it up with the Oracle a little bit later. So GgMaChine coming out already with a nice solid opener. We'll see if the Adept and Oracle harass at the same time will start to break things open for Classic.
Okay. We've got the Oracle coming in now. He does take over 50% hull damage on that, killing 2 drones off here. And we're waiting for the Twilight Council to finish to see what kind of game it's going to be. Will it be Blink? Will it be Adept again? And I think he only made... Oh, no, he made 2 Oracles. I'm sorry. So he has 2 Oracles total, but no more than that.
He's going for double gas, Classic, that is. So it looks like he might be trying to go for Blink into Templar. More likely, so we'll be trying to go for something a bit more standard. He's getting an extra couple gateways, though, as well, so I guess we'll just wait and see. Okay, yeah, it is going to be the Blink. So the Oracle's coming on in, losing one again is Classic, so again, a little bit sloppy with that early game micro, just like last game, but this time not having the early advantage of the delayed third base, and also not getting a couple of those drones with the Oracles, so... a bit unfortunate for Classic, and then the Lings actually do find their way across as well, and will be able to kill the Adepts and the Pylon. So things going much better so far for GgMaChine when it comes to this early game.
Yeah, nicely held there. Just driving these Lings away. GgMaChine taking the 4th base in the central location, not hugging the top or the right. And this is much more of your classic PvZ. GgMaChine going for +1 attack. The Forge is going to finish along with Blink in a little bit here, and so we're going to see both these guys developing.
Yeah, this is going to be a better interaction because, of course, going for the +1 melee with the Lings is going to pair up much nicer against Blink than it will against the Glaive Adept opener. So GgMaChine going to be in a better spot overall and taking pretty limited damage from the Oracles, and the Adepts is going to be really nice for him. Going into this as well, so only a few minerals lost, really. So GgMaChine is definitely going to be finding a better position. We'll see how aggressive he wants to actually be with his Lings and whatnot, or if he's just going to be making a good amount of them just to make sure he doesn't die to a big Blink pressure. But Classic also going for the Templar Archives. Doesn't look like he's going to be too insane with the Blink, just getting a decent amount to get space control and just make sure he can actually go across the map without getting, letting the creep go too far and anything like that.
Yeah, so he's going to drive away those Oracles back there. Heavy macro game here. A lot of powering up. A lot more droning coming out here. GG play. About to break 60 workers in supply here, matching that of Classic.
All right, Classic's going to start to move across the map here with the Blink Stalkers, so we'll be able to take some map control while he goes for that 4th base. Of course, you want to be able to limit the Zerg as much as possible. You don't want them to just free farm up to their 80-90 drone count. And it looks like GgMaChine is actually going to be pausing on 65 drones for now as he gets a decent amount of Ling Bane. Not sure exactly how committed Classic is going to be with the Blink, so it looks like he's going to try and go for a pincer move or a flank. It looks like actually everything just ends up grouping up in the middle of the map here, so we'll just force the Blink away and then pressure the 4th base. Not quite sure how much he's going to be able to get done here. Will try to commit for it, though, as he might actually be able to force a cancel on this 4th base. If he goes for it, he's being pretty aggressive, trying to chase the Blink Stalkers down when he could just be targeting the 4th base, but looks like he will get it anyways and then run back home. So a pretty decent engage so far for GgMaChine, as he does drone up behind it as well.
Yeah, nicely done. Pokes out the base and gets back out. You have to sack a couple of Lings, but I mean, that's about the best unit you could possibly sack, right? He's going to go now for the Robo. We're going to see Classic try to redevelop out here onto the front of his base. And I got to say, GgMaChine in a much, much better game this time around. Almost 80 drones for him.
Yeah, he's going to be going for Burrow. He's going to go into the Hive as well. So he's really going to start to round out his tech, whereas Classic... Sure, he did have to cancel his 4th base there, but I think he's still pretty comfortable with just waiting it out. Like I said earlier as well, he feels comfortable when these games go very long. He can absolutely play against the literal best players in the world going for this style. So as long as he just sits back, trades out, doesn't lose an insane amount of units, which he hasn't. He really hasn't lost any army whatsoever this game. As long as he can just get a really strong army, he's going to be feeling pretty confident to go into this mid game, go into the late game, and he's even going to try to poke with his army as well. We'll be able to unfortunately lose an Archon there, so GgMaChine being as active as possible with these Lings actually forces Classic back as well.
Yeah, GgMaChine continuing to just balloon out here. Lots of Banes, lots of Lings. Now, he could set up for some nice counterattacks. I don't think he wants to truly go in and try to hit the Protoss just yet, but, you know, when the Protoss leaves, definitely sending Lings and Banes, like, into the main, trying to kill workers, stuff like that is the play. But even spotting straight Lings like that can telegraph the intentions of the Zerg.
Yeah, he's going to be going into Ultralisk as well, so that's actually a pretty interesting switch up here for GgMaChine, going purely ground. We'll be trying to go for a counterattack with these Lings on the Adept. We'll be able to kill that and should be able to get through, but a nice warp in from Classic will be able to deny that for now, and the Archon is going to be able to stand strong as well. So nice defense here from Classic to be able to deny this Ling counterattack, as pretty much nothing else was happening on the map there. A nice little burrow actually will actually make that a bit annoying for Classic if he kind of forgets that those were there, but we'll just leave the Zealots behind when those eventually do on burrow.
Yeah. Classic going to come up now and try to hit this first base. And this is the point where GgMaChine has to choose. Is he going to defend this? Is he going to keep counterattacking? It looks like he's going to try to come in for a surround. Maybe some of the Archons and Zealots are going to back out.
It's a nice counterattack going on at the top as well. Going to make it very difficult for GgMaChine to split up his army. Classic staying on the right-hand side. Ultras are out. There's one Infestor trying to get a Fungal. We'll be able to get it on a small portion of the army as the flank of Lings and Banes do come from the backside. Connect very well onto the Stalkers, actually, and that's going to allow the rest of the Ultras and the other Lings to sweep the army. GgMaChine coming out with a massive win in this middle of the map.
That was sick. He is going to lose 12 o'clock. So, you know, Classic lost a huge amount of his army, but GgMaChine is going to be knocked back onto 4 bases, being even with the Protoss. Can GgMaChine have a counterpunch now? Can he try to smash his 4th base? We're going to see. He's going to come down right now.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult. It's a nice setup here for Classic. Lots of cannons, batteries, the Immortals coming in as well as he got the read on the Ultras, and those are getting bottlenecked on that top side. So that's going to be very difficult for GgMaChine, bleeding out quite a few units as the War Prism still on the other side of the map as well. Luckily, will get killed off by the Queen, so no more reinforcements coming on in. So GgMaChine has an opportunity now to stabilize, but he has not remade any of the bases that he lost in the last minute. So he's going to be full on with this army at this point, trying to recoup his drone count somewhat, but hasn't actually taken those bases. He needs to make sure he can eventually get those back up if he wants this to continue. Otherwise, he's going to be forced into an all-in position.
Yeah. He's got 2 different angles to come in here. The problem is, you know, Zerg, they want to be on way more bases. They want to have a lot more that they're drinking in. And I think what Classic can do is he can basically just chase down these counterattack groups and try to grow. You're not really pressured to try to end the game right now as Protoss. This is really, the Zerg's gotten into a much more difficult position.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to go in here, but it's just Ultras against the massive amount of Immortals, Archons. You've got the Static D. This is such a difficult position to actually break as the Zerg player. Classic is doing a great job of just hunkering down, just spamming out as many Immortals as possible, realizing that the Ultralisks are the only thing that's actually going to really swing this game for GgMaChine, as Banelings also now joining the fray, trying to get onto the probe line, but a nice set of Immortals body blocking all of that will deny massive probe damage as well. So this is is still going very nice for Classic on the defense. You can just see he's so trained in this type of style. He doesn't overextend. If he does, then he knows just to bring it right back as the game continues as well. So this is getting much worse now for GgMaChine.
Yeah, I mean, this is getting tough. I think Classic got himself into a great position when he got that counterattack off, and at least shut down the hatcheries. You know, it's funny. You look at the Protoss army, and then, you know, the Archons and Mortals and all these Zealots and everything else with it. It's scary, but a lot of times the real damage is done by like 6 Zealots just jettisoned across the map and into a base that's not really properly defended, and that goes down, and suddenly Zerk's in a lot of hot water.
Yeah, these engagements also getting really awkward here for GgMaChine as he's caught on the retreat. Does kill off another base, but he loses so much of his army. And Classic, again, is not really losing too much in some of these engages. He's being very efficient, except for that one attack that did go poorly. Otherwise, he's been very efficient with his trades. And the Lings are trying to counterattack, but getting met by a couple stasis wards. A lot will not get in. A probe will be able to block that off. Very clutch there from Classic, denying that counterattack, allowing him to focus more heavily on the main attack.
By the way, GgMaChine is actually denying this 5th base for so long with just having Broad Lings. But Classic's going to come across the map with an insane army. He's got a huge amount of supply that's going to come right into this 4th base. A good counterattack here by GgMaChine is going to clear out some of those workers. The hatchery's poked out. There's, I mean, a number of Immortals.
That's insane.
It might be some of the most Immortals I've ever seen in a StarCraft 2 game.
I feel like they're going to one-shot the Ultras at this point. Like,
yeah.
That's actually ridiculous how many Immortals there are. How do you engage this army? There's more Immortals than there are Ultras.
Yeah.
I don't see a single world where GgMaChine can take a favorable fight with the army composition that he has right now. He needs Neural to be able to get some of these Archons and Immortals on his side instead of the opponent, and then maybe he can swing a miraculous fight. But right now, he's just banking on the counterattacks to hopefully cause chaos, but he's losing bases left and right to this massive Protoss army.
Okay, the attack's going to come up here, and I mean, it's so many Ultras, but the answer could not be better for Classic. I mean, Archon Immortal is like literally, yeah, that will beat Ultralisks. So he's just poking out base after base after base. And like, Classic's not on a lot, but it kind of doesn't matter. Like, you can just run around and kill off every base and then just go back and expand again. Oh my god.
It's so cute.
You know, you don't see that enough.
Yeah.
That was so sick.
That's awesome, man.
Just Templars with feedback for harass.
Just salt in the wound at this point. Like,
yeah.
How do you even get a good engage when your main energy caster is also getting feedbacked by dropped Templar from a Prism? So that was kind of what GgMaChine was hoping for, that maybe could swing in the fight. He tried. You saw him try to use a bit of Microbial Shroud there as well on the Ultras to help with the DPS, but Classic just sees that and walks away. You don't actually have to engage in that location, so he's able to just go away from the fight. Now all the energy from the Infestors negated by the Templar, and now this is getting pretty hopeless right now for GgMaChine. He's stuck on 2 bases with basically no income.
Classic's play is really inspiring. You know, he just knew to kind of sit back and, you know, even if he lost his 4th base, it's like just roam, kill everything, and then go back and expand. Zerg can't grow out the same way. And there's so much supply that's just in Ultralisks. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, sacrifice the Ultralisks? You know what I mean? It's not like Lings or, you know, some of these low-value units like Lings or Zealots, where you're like, just throw them somewhere.
Yeah.
Hellions, stuff like that. So I think Classic really played a world-class game here, but I'm very excited to see how well GgMaChine did overall. And you can see he's going to come back in here, he's going to scout. You can see that, look, Classic isn't working with a lot as far as an economy, but the army he's got was the one he needed. It might be the only one he'll need this whole game.
Yeah, this thing is not going to die, is essentially the case. The Mothership also coming on in is going to be icing on the cake right now for Classic. It's going to be impossible for GgMaChine to take an engagement once that does hit the field.
Are there Templars in here?
Going to try to drop it. Will be able to get the feedback. Nicely done. A second one getting killed off as well. And now he can even go for Storms too if he wants, but a nice Fungal will be able to deny it for now. I don't even think there is an Overseer on the map right now. No, there's not. So once that Mothership hits the field, it's going to be actually impossible for GgMaChine to take a fight because Cloak is going to be coming on in. And I don't even think he really needs it at this point. I feel like the Immortals alone can just win this whole game.
Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty untouchable. Looks like he messed that one up. And basically, Classic is just gunning for a fight. And I honestly think the Classic should probably just push out here and go for the top right. I mean, at least bait a counterattack and then just try to meet him. I guess that's what's happening right now.
Meeting right in the middle of the map, and there's the cloak. Not a single Overseer in sight. GgMaChine cannot take that engage. Forced to run away, and then Classic can just chase. There's nothing stopping him. This army is literally unstoppable right now. It's so massive, and there's nothing here for GgMaChine. Storm's getting thrown down as well. The Ultras, once this fight does commence, are going to absolutely melt as the Storms continue to drop on top of the Infestors and Ultras. And we are just waiting for GgMaChine to eventually go for it, and there it is, trying to go on in with all of the Ultras, but you can just see how fast they melt. Classic with the 2-0 to start off the day.
That was a really great game.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with GgMaChine. I thought he put up a really good fight, but you can kind of see the Classic real veteran play coming in there.
Yeah.
Like new to just like, okay, camp it out. He's not, a lot of players throw Ultras away, to be honest. We see a lot of guys bleed them off and trying to take risks. GgMaChine was very, very careful, and in some ways that also allowed Classic to just build up the counter. And then it's like, okay, well, I've got Archon Immortal. You literally can't fight me.
Yeah.
You can't touch me. And then, eventually there's nothing you can do. Even if Classic's on almost no bases too, you just go around the map, you poke out every single base, go back home, secure one base.
Yeah.
And you're in a better spot than the Zerg who's long distance mining.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Rogue try to do this kind of style as well last season. He did it really well, but that kind of just goes to show just the level of skill you need to actually make it work out correctly. Otherwise, it just kind of falls flat like that happened there for GgMaChine. But a nice try overall. Definitely a better showing in that second game than the first one, and leaves me a little bit hopeful, perhaps, for a potential upset later in the day.
Guys, go to our YouTube, subscribe, please. Only 50% of you are actually subscribed on YouTube. If you're watching live right now, what are you doing? Subscribe, man. Leave a comment.
Go over to the YouTube page. Just do it. Come on. It takes you 2 seconds.
We're trying to grow this thing out. We think if we can get enough people giving our videos love and attention, we are going to get more and more growth here on the YouTube algorithm. We're killing it live on Twitch, by the way.
Yeah, it's great.
Live viewership's been fantastic. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, Rogue versus Maru.
What's up, everybody? Tasteless and Ziggy here. We are finally ready to paint our first StarCraft figurine here. We've got Zeratul. I have no artistic ability, and Ziggy doesn't either, but he's got a little bit more than me, so we're gonna have him actually paint the figurine. Ziggy, tell us what we got here.
Dude, we've got the Zeratul miniature, the very first one that we got sent by Arkan Studio from the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game.
I gotta say, it's crazy. We have the primer on Zeratul right now, and that's gonna allow the paint to stick on here. We've got, how many different colors are we gonna use?
Oh, I got a bunch. I got some purples, got some greens. I'm gonna try and paint him sort of like he's on the box art. We're gonna start with the airbrush, put some purple on him just as a base, and then work from there with the brushes and yeah, see what happens.
Let's do it.
Let's do it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. I'm checking in on Ziggy's progress again. How are we doing?
We're doing great. I think it's come along better than I thought it would. I don't know what you think, but I'm kind of proud of this.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I love what you did with the lighting here on the cape and everything. I think you did an incredible job. We're near completion here. Also, Archon Studios sent us some miniatures of their own they painted. If you want to see what their models look like, take a look.
As MaxPack's currently leading this best of 7.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going into the second game of the day. It's going to be Rogue versus Maru, a rematch of the lower bracket finals from last season. Can't believe we're getting this already in the first match. Steve Sturgeon tons of names we have for you over here, but welcome to the desk. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Like you say, this is a big game. This could be a grand final in another season. Two of the absolute best players. I cannot wait to get started here and see what these guys are cooking up.
Yeah, man. I mean, the last series that they played last season was already insane. Rogue coming out from that crazy lower bracket gauntlet and actually upsetting Maru in a little bit in that lower bracket final to then go to the actual grand finals in a 4-2 fashion as well, which is a bit surprising. I mean,
It was genius.
yeah, it was absolutely sick.
It was genius. He did a Ling, what was it, Queen Ling all in?
Yeah.
Like really early layer. Like we never see that kind of stuff. So many cool builds came out the last 2 times these guys fought. Rogue has been cooking up a ton of just cheeses really in these last couple seasons. So very curious what he'll be bringing out in this match. We have a new map first of all, Rorschach. Then we have Celestial Enclave and Necropolis to round out the series.
Yep. Awesome that we get one of the new maps coming in already, which is very, very nice to see, of course. Rorschach, I think is how you say. I don't know how to say
Rorschach.
it. I actually asked the map maker. Rorschach. It's such a strange looking word because it's a German name apparently. Like it's the guy that made
the psychology
the ink blot thing.
test,
so,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a great mouthful to say every single time. But anyways, that's what our first map is going to be. Maru, of course, on the bottom left-hand side, Rogue on the bottom right-hand side. This is going to be a great match. I'm very excited to see this one, and it's going to be a new map coming in for the first one.
Yeah, the mini-map actually looks like one of those Rorschach tests as well, like the butterfly or the demon.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys see when you look at the mini-map right now?
I see Protoss OP.
You're a genius. Yeah, so we're just taking a quick look at the map now at all these features. We have some bases down here. We can see it's rather close by air.
It's a healing zone.
There's a healing zone as well, so you can park your Hellions there after they do some harassment at the front as the Terran. Yeah, very cool looking map. I'm curious to see how the games will play out here as we do see Maru going for a nice early CC here.
Oh, wow. CC first coming in from Maru. All right. That's the type of stuff I like to see, of course, from Maru. Loves to throw out some a bit gambly builds every now and then. I remember last year as well. I can't remember which season it was, but he went like the 2-Rax Reaper fake into 4CC or whatever it was. Like absolutely ridiculous. And it looks like actually Rogue also going for a little bit of greed, going for the half gold, half normal mineral base. This is actually very interesting.
Well, he actually went gas then pull before the hatchery, so he has some potential aggressive things on his mind right now as we see 6 Lings already started up. He's banking up that gas to get to 100. Probably going to see the Ling speed go down here momentarily, and how hard is he going to commit to this is the question. I think the CC will definitely finish before the Lings get there, which is one of these weird kind of things that times out where you can lift it, whereas if you were making it after the racks, it might not be the case.
Right.
So we do see that finishing up here momentarily as the Orbital and First Marine is coming out, and the Lings go around here through the center of the map.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see how much Rogue is actually going to be going with this. Of course, that hatchery to actually be made in that bottom location there took a massive detour very far away from the main base, so these drones and the Queen will also take a very long time to actually get over there. But once the gold bases or gold minerals are being saturated, I guess it'll start to make up what you kind of lose in that travel time. But now the Lings will find their way across the map. Now, of course, Maru needs to pull those SCVs to make sure this Marine can stay alive, and doing a very good job of that so far. Almost trapping some of the Lings as well on the high ground would have been really nice, but will able to slip away as Rogue, as the rest of the, the Queen is still trying its best to
That is a long
over
walk
there
for the Queen.
That is a big exercise routine right there. She is getting her 10,000 steps coming on in, very, very for sure.
Yeah, 10,000 feet, not this time. It's going to be the 10,000 steps to that base. And we actually Rogue going for the very quick layer, and I just talked about this.
Yeah,
he's going for the quick layer into Overlord speed. We might see some kind of drop as the main bases are pretty close by air here. It makes sense that if you want to use this cheese, this would be the map to do it on. Lings are being made here. I think he's going to just try and drop a ton of Lings in Maru's main.
Yeah, this will be crazy, of course, if this could actually work out. Like you said, very close by air, and Maru has not seen this. Like, he has no idea that that base is even over there. He doesn't realize what Rogue is cooking up right now. He's got, I think, one thing on... Oh, no. Yeah, he does have a Hellion on the map right now, trying to finally get some information. So that is going to be very critical for Maru to be able to get this scout, to make sure he can see what is coming his way. Sees no third base on that normal location. Sees no third base on this one either. And now things are going to be starting to click in Maru's head. What is happening? He sees a couple Lings coming on across the map, but the Overlords are already about to finish. This is going to hit very quickly.
Well, he's already evacuated the natural and lifted the CC. I think Maru has read this perfectly. He knows this is an all-in or very aggressive build coming out of Rogue. He obviously lost to it the last time these two players faced each other. There are Banshees on the way with Cloak. That will be a kind of checkmate situation. I guess you could make an Overseer because he does have Leia. Right now, these Lings are chasing the Hellion, and here we go. 4 Overlords loaded up with Queens, loaded up with Queens as Lings and Queens make their way over. These SCVs have been idle for so long. I mean, there's nowhere for them to mine with the CC already lifted, I guess. So Maru is just kind of banding down the hatches right now.
Oh my god, now he's going back as well because nothing has hit him. He's so actually confused. He doesn't realize what's happening exactly. Does get the scout off now with the scan, but here come the Overlords coming on in, going to drop right on top of absolutely everything. The Hellions, of course, are going to be key in this defense because they do splash damage against all those Lings, but then the Banshees need to get dealt with by the Queens as well. Creep getting dropped, so that way we can throw down some Creep Tumors if we need to. We can transfuse with the Queens as well. Lings getting killed off, and it looks like Rogue is starting to get thinned out.
Yeah, a lot of SCVs falling here, and the Banshee doing a ton of work. It is cloaked right now. There's no detection here, so there's only a few Queens left in these Overlords. And as the dust settles, we see 13 SCVs have gone down. Rogue is still behind on workers. He has denied the natural from mining for a moment, though. I was going to say, is there potential to drone here? But probably not. You probably have to just keep pushing the issue.
Yeah, this is a very awkward position for Rogue. You can't really drone up like you just said. I mean, the Queens, or sorry, the Banshees will be able to just go across the map and kill everything as well. One of the Overlords does get killed off with a few more Lings in it as well, and now there's Hellbats on the field since that armory has finished. And this is looking like absolutely a disaster for right now for Rogue as he tries to throw down an Evo Chamber, tries to throw down a Spire to potentially transition off of 21 drones. I don't see this happening here for Rogue.
Neither do I. I mean, he's going for the long shot here. If Maru does stay at home forever, just scared of being all in, obviously the Mutalisk counter the Banshees and Hellions perfectly, but Maru not going to play that defensive and scared. He's going to move across the map with these Banshees. Very brave maneuver here. It's funny, all the Overlords and the Banshees go back home together. So they, he knows what's coming. He does have a Spore ready, but 3 Banshees can take out a Queen very quickly.
Yeah, we'll be able to turn on to the drones as well. I don't even know if Maru realized that that base was taken this entire time, but now he definitely knows. Just walked right into it, kills the Queen, kills the drones. Might be able to target down that Spore if he wants to, but doesn't want to get too greedy. He's just going to take the damage, leave with all the Banshees, make sure they're all still alive, and that is some great counter damage here from Maru. He is going to be able to just ride this out, I feel like, into the mid-game and just close it out easily.
Yeah, he's in an amazing position. Going into Cyclones here with the upgrade as the follow-up. They'll be able to chase down some Mutalisks. He's just too far behind. GG is called. Maru takes game number 1 there over Rogue. And I've got to say, if Rogue had brought the Overlords not so close to the bunker and closer to the mineral line...
Yeah, I do wonder this.
I think that looks completely different because he wasted so much DPS trying to get that bunker down.
Yeah, and I think obviously the reason why he wants to do that is because he's got so many Lings stuck outside and he wants to make sure all the reinforcements can actually meet up with the attack as well. So he wants to try to just burst that down as fast as possible. So I understand the idea from Rogue in that regard, but I kind of agree with you. I really wonder how that would look if he just drops on the mineral line or drops kind of more south on the production to maybe limit some of that and also then, of course, force the SCVs in a more awkward location. So, yeah, I think it's like a 50-50 on what you should do there, but I think the idea, of course, from Rogue was to burst down the bunker, but unable to get it. Maru with a very clinical defense on that, getting the scout off in time to be able to react. For a second, looked like he was kind of second-guessing himself and was about to start to mine again, but then gets the scan, and it's like, oh, okay, let's go back into the main base right now. I'm not letting this happen.
And wow, Rogue really sets the tone for this series, opening with that crazy all-in. I love it, man. I love to see Zergs going back to, you know, not their roots, but, you know, going back to playing...
roots of going four drop rewards.
Not the roots, but just going back to not just playing, you know, late game macro games every time, mixing in tons of all-ins and having a lot of success with it. Obviously not this game, but in the previous series. So let's see what else Rogue's got in his bag of tricks.
Yeah, let's see if he can bring it on Celestial Enclave coming up next. Rogue going to be on the top right here with Maru on the bottom left. So yeah, this is a map as well that maybe you can bring in some interesting stuff as the Zerg player, of course, with that kind of backdoor natural, but I don't know, I feel like after that one went so poorly for Rogue, I feel like you might want to try to pump the brakes a little bit and try to just bring out a little bit more standard styles, but Rogue is definitely one that we know is someone that likes to dictate the pace, will possibly still go for some pretty crazy tempo play, but well, let's see.
Yeah, I think some of his best games have been the games where he goes for these layers of like Roach Ravager pressure with drone kind of waves of drones between them. He's had a lot of success with that. On this map, you do have that ramp down at the natural. You do have that ramp there, so it can be tough to do that, but he's definitely very good at that build. I would not be surprised to see him use that in this series. Right now, we do see there's going to be a pool already going down for Rogue once again. No gas, though.
Do you think he thinks it's going to be a proxy Rex? Because Maru's classic move of going up in the series and then just proxy Rexing you.
It definitely could be, yeah. We know Maru likes to do that, and we know Rogue does not like to lose to proxies after the series against Beyond.
Dude, that one was so funny. Just that the table smash coming on in. I mean, like, you cannot blame him because it's like just the proxy Rex gets defended, just waits it out, and then just goes again a little bit later, and he just gets flattened.
And I think you are right, Gemini, as it looks like he is scouting around the map here, making sure there are no cheeky hidden Raxes on the map, checking all these corners, and then we'll go ahead and take the horizontal third base.
Yeah, so just wants to be super safe. Rogue, that is, of course, knows Maru very well. These two are great friends. I mean, they were teammates long ago as well. That Jin Air team, of course, for so many years was the best team in StarCraft 2 at that in that era. So these two players definitely are very well-versed in each other's playstyles, in each other's tendencies, in each other's mentality towards a series as well. So Rogue definitely respecting Maru's potential there, but nothing crazy from Maru, just going to be the Reaper coming on across. The SCV also kind of buddying up there is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll go through the mineral-only path on the back right, or the worker-only path to get a second scout in the main base to see if anything's going weird.
Yeah, indeed. It's also nice to check if this base has been taken here in the pocket. And the Reaper will go home now. The Lings have actually not made their way into Maru's natural here. It's kind of interesting to go pool first and then not kind of commit with the Lings to see if you can grab that SCV that's making the CC. But if the Reaper stays home, that can work out worse for you. And like you said, Maru is going to send this SCV in. Check there's no layer on the way. Check there's no Roach Warren or anything crazy like that.
Yeah.
And that he is safe to kind of play out this macro game in the way he wants for the moment.
Yeah, so I like that Maru is kind of taking the map into his own hands, actually using that to his advantage a little bit, so we'll be able to get that scout that he normally wouldn't really be able to get. You normally can't just send that SCV into the main base so easily like that. You'd have to get through the Queens, you have to get through the Lings. The Reaper would usually have to kind of potentially sacrifice itself to get that information, so gets the confirmation that there's no gases coming in from Rogue, going for a full macro transition off of the early pool, and so Maru can feel very comfortable going into this mid-game, going into the Hellions, getting his starport as well for likely the Banshees, and then we'll be able to just ride this one out and try to find any sort of economic damage that he can with these early units.
Yeah, pull into 3 hatcheries into 2 gases is very interesting.
Oh, wait, it's medevac, interestingly. Oh, what's he going to do here?
Yeah, he might try and ferry these Hellions over to the pocket base of the Zerg, run them in the main or something. Right now, he does get a creep tumor here at this base. Nice start. Don't want to lose that Reaper, though. Okay, it does go down. Not the biggest deal once your Hellions are already out and you are safe, but it is nice to keep that alive. Just for the grenade, I feel like.
Yeah, it actually is really annoying when you just, pop the Queens away or something, especially if you're trying to dive with the Hellions. It just gives you that extra half second to potentially close the gap on the drones and whatnot. So it's worth to keep alive, but for now it will get killed off. And that medevac getting thrown across the map in what looks like, for just a second, it looked like it's going to be one of those fake scouting medevacs, but it looks like he is going to try to elevator them up into this natural position here, like you were saying.
It actually flew right by the Overlord there. I'm not quite sure why he took that path. He could maybe have hidden it. Maybe he just wants to do it as quickly as possible. Oh, it is going to be a fake medevac.
Oh.
The medevac goes to the pocket base. Meanwhile, the Hellions are going to dive in here at the natural. There's 3 queens and some slow lings to greet them. Ling speed is not done yet. Okay, he does block the ramp with that 1 queen there. Very nice move, but all the drones are starting to clump up here. 4 go down so far. He will manage to save the rest as the Hellions get caught behind the mineral lines there.
Yeah, not bad defense overall from Rogue, I would say. I mean, 6 Hellions getting killed off for only a few drones is really not that great. The medevac play was cute, of course, from Maru trying to bait a response from Rogue, but unfortunately not really able to get a reaction, so the Hellions not able to do the damage that they were looking for. Definitely wanted to get more than that, and it's going to be a mech transition coming out from Maru as well, going for the double armory, extra factories coming in as well, so he's going to try to turtle up a little bit on this map. It is pretty decent for that, of course, since you have the back base, you have these big ramps leading into many of these bases, so Maru will be playing the macro mech game in this Celestial Enclave game number 2.
Yeah, kind of genius showing that medevac to the Overlord there and then using it as a fake. I really like that. At first I was like, oh, that's a mistake. If you're going to send them into the main, it's a mistake, right?
Right.
But if you use it as a fake, well, it's actually kind of smart. In the end, like you said, Rogue defended very well there. Only lost 5 drones. And now we have to see at what point does he realize it is mech, as that will probably cause him to alter his build somewhat. This Raven got basically nothing done, by the way. He had a very nice Spore Crawler position in the main. And we do see a Hellion drop now coming into the pocket base, but there are plenty of lings here to greet them, as well as a queen.
Yeah, it's going to get shooed away, as we do still have the +1 melee coming on in, and the Baneling centrifugal hooks coming in, so this doesn't look like Rogue really knows that he's playing against mech just yet. I feel like you don't want to just be massing Banelings against someone who's going to be going into a meching style. But for now, of course, Rogue is going to just still be in the dark, of course. The Hellions trying to get what they can. Since they are still on the map, you want to be able to poke and prod with them as much as possible, but we'll just be able to kill a few Lings. And yeah, I mean, we're kind of just waiting to see when Rogue kind of makes this identification as to what Maru's doing, because if he doesn't realize this soon enough, I feel like things can spiral out of control very quickly if you don't actually have the right unit comp to deal with what Maru's going to be putting on the field, which is a very threatening mech army.
Yeah, he does have the Infestation Pit, so he can go Hive, get access to Ultras, things like that, if he so chooses. His economy's been in a very good spot. He's been very far ahead in the work count for quite a while now. And, okay, now he gets the confirmation. He knows 100%. He goes straight to Hive. It's pretty early. It's a 7, just after 7-minute Hive. That's quite fast. His Baneling speed is finishing up here. He has Burrow on the way, as well as Overlord speed, so drops will be on the table for him if he wishes. This, it's actually going to come in once more.
Yeah, we'll be able to get a pretty decent amount for those Hellions. Only 4 of them and 7 drones getting killed off is actually not bad, considering how, those Hellions are not really going to have the most insane worth going forward. Of course, you want some of them in your army since you are going mech as the Terran player, but getting 7 drones in that stage in the game is pretty decent. Of course, better than he did in the first run by as well, so, and with less Hellions as well, so... a nice little move there for Maru, of course, as he's just going to be slowly moving forward now, taking his 4th base, getting his extra CCs as well to eventually lift up and go to the other bases as well. And once Maru gets this set up, it's going to be very difficult to actually break him. So we'll see how much aggression Rogue actually wants to throw at Maru for now, while he's getting into this more transitional phase to the 4 and 5 bases.
Yeah, I feel like this has actually worked out quite well for Rogue, because he's gone for the Ling Bane, as we talked about, and Maru's actually going Battle Mech here. Ling Bane can work well against Battle Mech if you're able to get like a good wraparound or a good counter-attack while it's out on the map, as opposed to a Terran who just sits back with siege tanks and tries to max out, and it's very hard to ever attack into them. So this may work in his favor. He's going to transition into Ultras and Adrenal as his Hive is finished. Getting 16 more drones, and he's already on 90.
Oh.
So he's going to go up to 106. After a bit of static D, that's going to fall a little bit, but he has got some economy in this game here, Gemini.
Yeah, that is quite a lot of drones coming out from Rogue. You don't see that every day, but really setting himself up, of course, realizing that Maru is just going to be sitting back for quite a while himself. So Rogue is going to take the initiative on the economy and will just absolutely explode in that regard. So going on the left-hand side with as many bases and as many drones, and then trying to meet this army in the middle of the map, will try to pounce on these Hellions. Will almost get that surround, but thankfully the Hellions will be able to reach on back to that 5th base location with that bottleneck and the blue flame as well, making it very difficult for Rogue to actually try and capitalize on that.
Yeah, we are going straight to the late game here. Maru already on 5 bases. I can count. Yeah, that's 5. Neural on the way. Neural on the way for Rogue as well. So the Infestors going to be able to control some of those expensive units like the tanks, like the Thors if they come on the field later. Ultralisk in production now. 2-2 just finishing up here for Rogue. We want to get that 3-3 on the way ASAP, as that's a big power spike. And that is a lot of Lings and Overlords.
That is a lot, and there is a sensor tower here, of course, for Maru to be able to realize that this is happening, but I don't know if he's going to have the units actually in position. The Planetary Fortress makes short work of those Banelings, so thankfully nothing going down there, but sure, he's going to know that these these Overlords are going to be coming on in, but his army is still going to take a decent while to actually get to that pocket base. The turrets will have to do a lot of heavy lifting to kill a few of those Overlords once those do eventually make their name. But looks like Rogue is just waiting for the best moment to go for those, and now he will start to strike, of course, as Maru is a bit distracted at the front with the Ultras and the Banelings. Here come the Overlords, one of them tanking all of those shots, will get killed off before that, and the rest of the army going on the right-hand side kills off that Planetary Fortress, and then the Lings are going to start to unload in this natural.
There are units everywhere from the Zerg here, in the main, in the natural, over the base down there. Tons of SCVs starting to fall. What a difficult attack to hold off here as Maru just being hit in so many places at once. There's Lings back in this base again. We're almost up to 30 SCVs going down. More Lings burrowed there, and now as Maru, you're on cleanup duty.
Yeah, this was a great move from Rogue overall. You're really only just losing some Lings and Banes. Not the most insane, unit. You don't really care about losing all of this. Of course, you need to trade this out as the Zerg player eventually to get damage, and he got a good amount. I mean, 30 SCVs is a great bit of damage coming in for Rogue, and obviously is going to make it very difficult for Maru to kind of recoup economically as well. Does still have a lot of CCs, so it's not like he lost, in the opportunity to still, throw down a bunch of mules and all that and whatnot. But it does obviously give Rogue more opportunity now coming into the later stages of this game. He can start to continue with this aggression and possibly just beat Maru out of this game before he can really get anything going on the map.
Yeah, a little fake drop here comes. Oh, no, it's not a fake drop. It's got Lings in it. So they will be going to the main once again. There is enough Terran army here to deal with this. And I would say this is looking good for Rogue, apart from the fact that Maru's ghost count has been steadily increasing throughout all of this, making 2 or 3 at a time for the last minute or two. These Banes will roll in, connect on a couple Hellions, not the best, but just trading them out, keeping the pressure up as he does not want to let Maru max out and kind of get, loads of CCs all across the map.
Yeah, this is the style that Rogue really excels at, is just making chaos everywhere on the map, just being constant with his counterattacks, throwing in Lings and Banes. He's even going for the double Nidus as well, which is a clinical, or just a trademark of Rogue's play. Very clinical how he does this, of course, just sending these all over the place and just getting units every which way in places that you don't expect. And it's very difficult to deal with. There's no one better than him at this style. And he's even going to try to bust down this forward position as well. The PF does get killed off. Ghost's going to be able to snipe some of these Ultralisks, but they are staying alive for a decent amount of time, so 20 more SCVs essentially getting killed off as Rogue continues to try and just batter Maru down as much as possible.
Yeah, I would say these attacks have been very successful here from Rogue. I mean, he's trading out well, and he's been on like a 100 drone economy for a very long time. I think he's looking in very good shape right now. If he can just find a way to trade out the Ghosts, that will be the thing that breaks Maru's back in this game if he's able to do it. We know if you give Maru a handful of Ghosts, he is never out of the game. He can stay in the game with 8 Ghosts for another 20 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
If you give Maru just the most ridiculous army, he will find a way to actually win this game.
Yes.
So Rogue is absolutely not he's not won this game by any means. He's still threatening, of course. Maru is. His army is still very large. He hasn't really had his army touched too much. It's only the economy so far. And if Maru can just kind of take great trades overall, he will still be able to win this game. A single Ultralisk as the harassment from the Nidus room is a bit interesting. That'll get dealt with by a couple sites. But then actually a distraction is what that really was, as the army does go in the front. We'll get some decent connections on the army sitting out here. And Maru's supply is suddenly dropping to 130 or so, but those Ghosts still do remain on the field, and that's what's important.
Yeah, and I love the addition of the Corruptors here by Rogue, able to take out all these Medivacs, the Liberators, the air units here of Maru. This Nidus is still here in the main, so if he chooses to, he could send something through there. We see now he's finally going to go into ranged upgrades, just in case he wants to add in some ranged unit at this point. I'm not sure what that would be, but That is on the table. Another little attack comes here. The tank's actually doing loads of friendly fire onto these mules. A bunch of them will go down, as well as the SCVs.
That's actually huge. Yeah, that was so much friendly fire on a bunch of pretty fresh mules, so that's a lot of the economy for Maru getting thrown away right there. Snipes getting thrown down on the Corruptors is not really the thing that you want to do. You really want to be able to kill those Ultralists. But I mean, Maru is just getting kind of thrown down to such few bases. I guess he's still got that CC at the front there, and he's actually not got these over on the left. I thought those were finished. They are actually not actually. They're basically just canceled at this point. So this is still getting worse and worse for Maru economically, and the Nidus Storms are not stopping. Is it?
Is that at the front? Maru's very front CC. Is that burning down?
There's a single SCV actually hailing it.
I just saw it was on like one slither of health, and it was burning. Okay, Maru, though, good attention to detail. Sorry to cut you off there. Just caught me by surprise.
Yeah, no, that would have been absolutely crazy if he just loses that. Thankfully, the Night Storms are also getting dealt with now by a couple of tanks that were left behind, but of course, then that's just more army that's left in the main base that's not at the front, so it's going to be more difficult for Maru to eventually defend the forward attacks, and Rogue is just continuing non-stop with these Niduses, just wants to continue to strain Maru as much as possible to try and make it so that way it's easier to actually take the engages at the front.
He is absolutely everywhere right now, hitting so many locations at once. Once again, comes into the front base. All the Terran army going to have to retreat here, kite back. Okay, there's tons of siege tanks on the high ground, though. They do a lot of damage. But once again, this base is forced to lift, and this time is killed.
Yeah, thankfully those Corruptors are there, so they will be able to kill that off as it does lift, so that's very nice. But you did see Rogue get a little over-eager there. That high ground position with all those tanks still very threatening. Got a lot of great shells off onto the main army, so Rogue needs to be careful where he actually takes these final engages, because this is the place that's really difficult to break. The Terran player can just kind of sit on this location with that high ground, and it's very difficult to get a solid engagement. He's going to have to split on both sides at this point, as Maru is now forced to go a bit more far down, and he might even be able to take advantage of these tanks on the left while they're unsieged, but it's still such a tiny bottleneck. It's really difficult for Rogue. As you can see, he actually loses a very large amount of his army, and he's going to go into a mass Muta switch as well. Okay, maybe this can be the final blow.
Yeah, I have seen him do this before. When he sees there's a ton of tanks and you don't have a lot of supply to make Thors and that kind of thing, he will make a big Muta switch, fly around, pick off everything that he can. Maru is actually going to choose this moment to push across the map, get some of these creep tumors that have been spreading for so long now. The map is covered in creep, honestly. And the only thing that can hit these Corruptors are ghosts, and they will start to do so. One Liberator goes down, but Maru's whole army might get caught here by these Mutalisks. There's so little anti-air in this Terran army. Here come the Mutalisks. The Ghosts have a lot of work to do. Will they stand and fire or give it the tanks? Oh, the blinding cloud on the Ghosts. They can't even shoot the Mutas. Everything gonna fall here to the air eventually. It's just a matter of how long it takes here. Some of the tanks will move forward almost as a diversion, like here, have these and let me take some of the army home at least.
Yeah, he's trying to distract right now. Maru's just splitting up all these units as much as possible. He's not even going to get to do that, of course. Rogue with still too much on the map. The mass Muta switch able to shoo him away in that game, and it will be 1-1 coming into this third game.
Absolutely beautiful Muta switch there. Just realizing how many tanks Maru still had, thinking, oh, I've traded out every unit except tanks. He's still making them. He has so many of them. His anti-air is very limited. Let's just make the Muta switch, you know? Go into them. And Maru kind of, for the first time, chose to push out.
Yeah.
Right as the Mutas are coming out. It was kind of unlucky. That's when Rogue hits and just smashes the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you don't blame Maru in that position as well, just because he was getting battered for so long, just losing his economy, just fight after fight after fight. And then finally he gets an engagement where he sees that he actually does get a nice trade and kills a lot of Rogue's units, but little did he know, Rogue, I think, kind of maybe planned for that in that particular instance, as he knew he had that Muta switch in the back pocket. And Maru just kind of walked right into it. I mean, there's not much you can do at that point. You have to try and go for the big counter push, and it's just not going to work out that time. So Rogue able to even things up. We're going to be going into Necropolis as our third map to see who can be the winner and go against Classic in the Deciders match.
Yeah, what a beautiful macro game from Rogue there. Just going for the pull into 3-hatch, going up to 106 drones.
That was crazy, man.
So quickly as well, and then somehow not dying. If I try and do that on ladder, I'm so dead, dude. But Rogue is amazing, obviously. And then, yeah, he just counterattacks, hits in 2 or 3 places for a very long time. Nidus is in the main forever.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point Terrans have to make a Viking and put it there, like have it roam around the airspace. That was so annoying to deal with.
He went for like 3, 4, 5 rounds of double Niduses. It felt like just like non-stop every single time. So, like I said, Rogue is so well versed in that style. I mean, he's done it versus Protoss as well. He does it versus Terran. He's so good at just keeping his multitasking up and just throwing those Niduses out. If it gets killed off, he just puts the next one right back up on cooldown, and it's just not, is unrelenting in that aggression. Has the Lings and Banes going everywhere as well. Always keen to make sure he's attacking in one side of the map while the Niduses are going up, just to guarantee that some damage is done somewhere on the map. So Rogue, really nicely done, well controlled for that game, and that also kind of stemmed from the early game as well, just being able to deny the Hellions from getting any damage. Just didn't really get thrown off at all in the early game, so was able to ride it out really well. And you can see that Rogue is still coming to play in this season number 5.
Rogue plays like a younger man, I'm telling you. He's been around for a long time, but he still plays so fast with such good multitasking. Very impressive stuff. Here we go into the last game of this best of 3. It is going to be on Necropolis. This game, Maru's gone, not for a CC first. He's going for a standard Reaper opening. And Rogue is also playing a little bit more standard as well. He's got his hatchery before his pool this game, as well as the gas going on there. So yeah, looking pretty standard here in the early game.
Yeah, I would have been surprised if Maru chooses this game to throw out the Proxy T-Rex, and I guess Rogue is also kind of in the same location with that, so he's just assuming that now is the time to just go for a normal hatch first, so not needing that early pool anymore. We'll be able to just take that risk, and obviously, Maru's not going to be throwing that out in the game number 3, so we'll be able to just get away with that nice and easily, as per usual. We'll take that third base as well as the Reaper does try to find its way, and we'll see if this dance can actually net him any kills.
Yeah, the Reaper does come in. The Lings are here to greet him. Good micro on that first Ling. Goes back, spreading out the damage on as many Lings as possible here. Doing a very good job. The Queen almost coming out. I feel like he might be able to get a Ling here. Okay, one goes down. He gets it, dude.
And the drone is on half HP, and it goes away. Okay, good. All right, we got that out of the way. We did it.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember, what was it? I think last season we saw a Reaper kill, like, I don't know, 3 drones or something in the early game in this interaction, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Sometimes it happens, right?
Yeah, it does happen every now and then. The Reaper actually almost kind of overextending there. The Queen barely unable to get that last shot, so thankfully Maru will keep that alive, and we'll be able to use it a little bit later. As you just swap over the factory, of course, to go for the very likely double Hellion. There it does start to come out, as the third CC also coming out. Is he's doing the CC at the front again. He did this last season as well, where he didn't really care that CC was at the front. I'm still kind of curious exactly the thought process on that. Does he actually kind of try to use it as like a mind game because the Overlord normally scouts the main, or like does he just not care that it gets scouted at all? He just wants it at the front for helping against walls and whatnot. So I don't know. Yeah,
I kind of like it. I think it suits Maru. Just put it at the front. Like, let them know. Yeah. This is a 3CC game. What are you going to do? But yeah, he's going to be macroing up this game, as is Rogue. The Hellions move across the map right now. Nice spread on these Overlords. He doesn't actually have one on this pathway that the Hellions have taken, but this is the third base. There are no drones here to roast right now, as they are just being transferred. Going to take a momentary pause and then once again continue their journey over to this mineral line. The Hellions rotate, just looking for any fresh creep tumors that may be spawning. If you can deny one of those, that can always be very good here in the early game. And it's going to be a Cloak Banshee follow-up behind this.
Yeah, I do like that from Maru, of course, just nice and standard. Just goes to something that he is very well versed in himself and will be pretty decent at. So we'll see if he wants to go for any crazy diving damage with the Hellions this time, or if he's just going to play it on the more controlling end, where he just tries to keep the creep tumors out of the map and just has the Banshees go in the back to try and get some drones and whatnot. We'll see how aggressive he wants to be, but yeah, I kind of want to see Maru go back a little bit more to just the bio play. I do just kind of enjoy watching him play that style overall. As the Overlord's going to try to come on in, try to get a scout off on exactly what's going on. We'll be able to see the tech lab on the starport researching. Did not see the... Oh, he actually... Is that... Okay, he did barely see that tech lab researching the stim, apparently. And it was canceled. Okay, that was a fake coming out from Maru, as he will go back into the mech play.
Wow, mind games here coming up from Maru in game number 3. He went back last game, and I think Rogue showed that he's very capable of dealing with it if he knows about it early on. So I like this mind game here. Going to try and throw him off. A lot of Hellions here. I think seeing this many Hellions is already kind of a tell, as the Queens will come over to meet them on creep. Rogue still droning. Going to go ahead of Maru at this point. He's going to go for a Spire here.
Ooh, that is very interesting. I do like that from Rogue. As the Hellions, though, find their way into the natural, and he's actually just going to bow out. Wow, okay, he doesn't want to commit with those Hellions. He had a free trip into the natural and the main base. There was only a few lings on the ramp there. He easily would have been able to get in there and get a lot of damage, but I guess respecting Rogue a little bit too much, expecting there to be more there on the receiving end, and will not be able to get that damage, but instead goes in with the Banshees. We'll be able to get 3 of the drones, but yeah, I'm actually very surprised that Maru didn't just take that opportunity. I mean, he would have gotten the scout on the Spire as well. I feel like that was a big missed opportunity.
Yeah, if you go that far in, it kind of feels like you have to go for
and
it.
And he saw so many queens as well.
Right,
it's
unless
like,
you see something like 10 roaches, you should probably just go. But
I guess he just thought there was like a big pack of lings waiting behind the mineral line or something, and like the queens were already right behind him, so maybe he was going to get surrounded. I don't know.
A very nice catch on these lings in the top right of the map, kind of a random position there. The Spire now finishes, so oh, okay, beautiful scan timing on the natural. He sees it just as it finishes. We'll be able to get his anti-air, get his turrets, get everything prepared to defend against these Mutalisks. Oh, he actually doesn't have an eBay right now because he's going mech, so he does have to make that for a moment. And these Hellions, a couple of them are going to fall to the lings. They will get out, still healthy in number. The lings have been traded out here, and the Mutalisks are kind of the thing we're looking at right now. They're going to deal with the Banshees very well, obviously, and the Hellions. They'll all have to go home at some point.
Yeah, I don't really mind the Hellion staying out for a moment there to possibly keep the Mutas at bay, just to give him some more time to get some more anti-air back at home. But you don't really want to just lose all of them for free, of course, to the Mutas, so you got to run those back at some point. And so Rogue will just chase them for now, right into a couple Widow Mines almost there. So nice attention from Rogue to make sure that he didn't actually walk into those, or he actually just sent them home because there's some Banshees killing his 4th base over here. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but regardless, it is the right play as the Banshees are killing quite a decent number of these queens. And now the Mutas do find their way back, but just barely get out of range of the Overseer. We'll be able to keep all of those alive.
Yeah, if he was able to, pick off all 4 of these Banshees, that would be so good for Rogue here. They will probably... Oh, they're actually going to... Yeah, one of them is very low on energy. We'll be able to get back to these Widow Mines, and survive. So all in all, I think this is okay for Maru. And here come the Cyclones, going to start locking onto these Mutalisks. A few of them will fall instantly. That's good for Maru there.
Yeah, I think Maru has navigated this early game very well. I mean, getting that scout off with the scan literally right as the Spire finished, and right when the Mutas started being morphed as well. It's not like Rogue could see the scan and then pivot like a Zerg sometimes can do, knowing that they have the information. Not able to do that, so he's forced into the Mutas anyways, and he's now going for this, and Maru has defended them very well so far, not able to get any damage done with those, except for just killing off the couple Hellions that were getting some map control, but that's not really an insane win by any means from Rogue, so he's still going to need to find something with this Muta play. He's going to be committing more towards it as well, going for Ling Bane on the ground as well to round it on out, so he's going to try to be very aggressive with this. He can't just sit back on this army. He's going to have to try and pull the trigger eventually.
Yeah, indeed. He does have the Infestation Pit, so he could go Hive there. We see it boot up now, but like you say, you have to be active with this composition. You probably want to trade it out as you near maxing out before the mech army gets too big. One lone Corruptor is going to be added in. These Banshees zoom across the map once again. Rogue would really like to get these. They could be such a nuisance later on in the game if they are still alive. Burrow on the way for Rogue. I love that. He's so good with the Burrowed Lings. A Raven being added in here for Maru, as well as 3 Cyclones at a time. Center Towers upgrades. Both these guys powering up hard right now.
Yeah, I cannot wait for this fight to actually break out. I feel like it's going to be very explosive once it finally does. I mean, the Widow Mines on the field as well could be very big against the Banelings and the Mutas, depending on where they actually find their connections. We'll just go off on a couple of Zerglings so far. A nice reaction from Rogue as well to be paying attention and split that up, and then just kills them off with the Mutas, so nice attention to detail. As Rogue continues to try to max out as quickly as possible, getting tons of extra bases as well. 3 hatcheries getting thrown down all around the map. Just, again, realizing that it's going to be a long mech game and realizing that he can't just end it with one fell swoop. Will want to set himself up for a potential late game switch, as he does have the Hive finishing up as well.
Yeah, Maru's already got up to a very healthy work count, been at 85 for quite a while here. Here comes the first real engagement here. The Lings go in, try and get on top of these Cyclones. The Widow Mines fire, in come the Banelings after the Mines have shot. They're going to try and get on these Cyclones with the Mutalisks. The tank will fall, and this SCV line is in a lot of trouble. Forced to evacuate. Nice Widow Mine shot on the Mutas, some going down. And it looks like this was a decent defense here in the end.
Yeah, he's also got the 4 Banshees on the other side, killing off one of these hatcheries. This is a great counter damage move from Maru as he gets a nice defense against the initial attack, killing off the right-hand base as well, but there are still more being made on the left-hand side. Rogue not stopping, but there's still Widow Mines here, killing off a lot of those mutas as the Lings try to go onto the Cyclones and force them away, but I don't really know if this is the engagement that Rogue is looking for until those Banelings get some nice connections, and then the mutas come right back in again as well, trying to get the alley-oop on the command center, but unable to do so as the SCVs are there, and the Cyclones also come back as well. This is getting very scrappy all of a sudden.
Yeah, Rogue has just pulled the trigger here. He's going so aggressive. Magic boxing on top of these units here. Going to try and just take out all these Cyclones, and that'll be all that's defending this mineral line, but a ton of these mutas actually going down. Just now going to start to be... Oh, the repair on that one turret keeps it alive for so long as the rest of the units come over here. The Lings get dealt with, and I think Rogue is starting to peter out here a bit here.
Yeah, that was insane. The turret actually staying alive during that was actually, I think, the moment that swung it there. If that does fall, there's a moment where a lot of the SCVs will suddenly get killed off as well, and it bought so much time for the Cyclones to continue dishing out their damage as well. And you can just see that Rogue has really dipped in supply after that engagement. There was that moment there where it looked like he might be able to just snowball it across after the initial damage, but now he is just met with a wall there of defense from Maru, and now he's sending it across the map to try and do some counter damage as well. Maru seeks out this weakness from Rogue. Let's see if he can actually kill him here.
Yeah, some of these Widow Mines shot, already shooting very early in the fight. The mutas come in, they get on top of these Cyclones. A bunch of them will start to fall. Medevac comes in, not going to be able to do anything here. As quite a lot of these mech units have fallen, but so did 13 drones and this base. These Banelings trying to do anything they can. And these Banshees are somehow still alive against the Muta build.
I can't believe how much damage these things have done this entire game. Even splitting off the... Look at that attention to detail from Maru, man. Are you kidding me? Splitting off the one that was low on energy, able to keep it alive, and then the other ones go onto the right-hand side. I mean, these things have already paid for themselves like 10 times over at this point. You don't even need to keep them alive at this point, but he's still keeping them here, distracting Rogue as much as possible, keeping the mutas out of his face, and allowing him to macro back up back at home. Rogue is looking like he's scrambling for anything right now as he's sitting here, sure, on 73 drones, which is okay, but then you look over at Maru, he's got 86, and he's got plenty of command centers, plenty of bases behind it as well. Maru is in full control of this game.
He is indeed. If this game goes much longer, Maru's going to just boom in production here and get very far ahead. More Mutalisks fall in here to these Cyclones as they stay active in the middle of the map.
48 mutas died? That's insane.
That is so many Mutalisks, dude.
Oh my god, that's more than Banelings, dude. What the hell? When do you see that stat? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, indeed. Not the most efficient with the mutas, but he did just try and do a lot of damage with them, kind of end the game.
The unit loss tab also looks absolutely insane. I think if we can pull that up for a second, it was like absolutely ridiculous for Rogue. Yeah, 21,000 to 13k is just absolutely insanity. So yeah, Rogue has not been enjoying this this mid game here.
Yeah, nice counterattack though, will take out some SCVs as the Banelings get insane hit on all these Cyclones clubbed up at the front. The mineral line gonna fall here. Maru is still on 5 bases, but you don't want to lose too many workers as these Cyclones are wreaking havoc. The mutas fly through a turret, just add to the count, why not? As some Lings are gonna come over and try to finally clean up this little Terran force.
I mean, with how good that looked for a second there, it still doesn't matter because he's so far behind at this point. Maru will still be able to take the series, but that looked for a second there that maybe Rogue was about to pull out some of his magic again that we saw from last season, but not going to be the case. So Maru will be able to go towards that winner's match, taking the game number 3 there. A very interesting fashion. I mean, the fact that it was the Muta Ling Bane coming on in, a bit of a different look from the last game, but still Rogue with the same idea to try to be relentless with that aggression, not playing to his favor this time.
If you open Mutalisks, the dream scenario is that your opponent is going Cloak Banshee usually.
Yeah.
The worst situation is they go in 2-1-1, 2cc or 3cc. Both of those are pretty hard to deal with, those quick marine pushes, but Cloak Banshees should be what mutas are good against. But Maru, like you said, kept them alive for so long, got so much damage out of them somehow, and it shouldn't look like that almost, you know what I mean? It's so hard to keep them alive against Mutalisks, so awesome job by Maru. He will be moving on in this set. So Classic and Maru will move on to the winners series, winners match of the group, whilst GgMaChine and Rogue will play in the losers match. We are going to have our first ZVZ in a very long time, Gemini.
Oh, you are, I'm sure, very excited for that one,
Oh,
Sturgeon.
yeah.
I'm sure you cannot wait. But yeah, we're going to have a ZVZ coming on in. As a PVT is waiting in the winners match as well. Classic versus Maru, surely going to be a banger as well. We're going to be going to a short little break, and then we're going to be going into that match. So stay tuned, more RSL coming on up.
What's up, guys? Tasteless here. I am going to be showing you the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game again, and this time we're going to be unboxing it. So let's get started. This thing is massive. All right. Oh my God. Okay. So much is in here. This is crazy. I believe these are crystals from the ground, as well as some kind of shots, I think, from Terran Marines here. These are little crosses here for the medics. Some plating here, it looks like, for Marines and Marauders. And then we go into all purple here, and I assume all these purple ones are different build-outs for different Zerg units. I think it's each one is a Zergling here. This has got to be the Queen? No, this could be Sarah Kerrigan. Okay, so now these are all the Terran parts, and you can see just how much detail goes into each little piece. Like, they keep it really true to Blizzard artwork for how the game looks. It looks basically identical to what you see in the cutscenes and in the cinematics. A lot of love went into this. So this terrain is actually supposed to be from Lost Temple. So if you played any of StarCraft 1 or 2 from the early days, Lost Temple was kind of the map. This is what it comes with. This is the tile set. This is Lost Temple, the map. So it comes with a die here, the playing cards that allow you to play the game. Ruler, so you can measure how many spaces a unit can move or the distance it can attack at. The markers that you would use when you're actually playing the game to catalog events that are happening in various turns. It does come with the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game booklet, which is basically going to be an instruction manual. And last, but certainly not least, rules and references here. So this is everything. All of this comes with the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game 2-player starter set. It is honestly way more than I even expected. I knew when I looked at the figurines on the back there was going to be a lot in here, but it's crazy. So if you buy this, you're going to have a lot of work ahead of you, a lot of fun, a lot of assembling, a lot of painting, and then obviously a lot of games to play. Coming up next, we are going to start our first miniatures painting.
Try to defend. A lot of times when you have Oracle... Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back, and we're ready to go into the winners match here for Group A of the RSL.
Yeah, indeed. We've had some very good best of 3s so far. Classic and Maru looking in good shape today. They will be taking each other on in the winners match. The winner of this will get out of the group, and the loser goes on to the final set of the day.
Yeah, and this is a pretty cool match to have. Classic and Maru, obviously, you know, it's hard to think of two players to have a better TVP match than these guys. I'm not sure there is a clear favorite here. We've seen these guys duke it out before, and the games have been fantastic. So, honestly, I'm just excited to jump into it.
Same here. I would give the edge, if anyone, I would give it to Maru. I think he's been in very good form recently. And Classic actually got knocked out in the group stages of the last season, right? In Season 4. So he's looking to redeem himself, looking to get out of this group, make another run, as we know he is capable of. Obviously winning the first 2 seasons of the RSL. But like you said, both these guys, top of their races. Should be a really good series coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this is going to pan out. And it's going to be back here at RSL already. You know what I mean? We banged out that first season. You know, it's nice, man. I feel like we've really found our rhythm here. I think we were all kind of stressed out and trying to figure out how to do this at Season 1, but now that we're all the way to Season 5, even Season 4 was really smooth. It's great. It's great to be down here, to have the new maps, to have the players showing up, and of course to just see the games these guys bring us, especially these two. I'm really excited to see who's going to take this. Classic super dominant last year, especially in the RSL. But obviously Maru always a threat. Any year he is playing StarCraft 2. We're going to get into this best of 3 now. And remember, the winner is the first survivor of the group stage here. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. The first map is going to be Old Republic. Maru down here in the bottom left. Classic in the top right. Will we see any cheese? Will we see any shenanigans? Anything is possible in this best of 3 coming up.
Yeah, we got the probe coming across the map right now. And you know, for Maru, He's going to be getting the depot up into his main. This is basically the scout to confirm, is he hiding a barracks anywhere on the map? By the way, Maru doesn't really mock a racks. Right? I feel like a lot of the other Terrans we've seen, not all the time, but they'll be willing to do it. So I think this is a smart move for Classic to come down and basically just get the confirm, because Maru does do a lot of cheeses. Some years more so than others, but he's definitely somebody who's capable of doing like a pure raw macro game or just doing a totally crazy all-inner cheese.
Yeah, we've seen some good games of him against Hero when they had that crazy best of 17. I think he used basically every cheese that Terran has. Proxy racks, all the good stuff. So he is capable of it. That's what we know he can do. This game just going to be going for the racks at home, standard. As this probe and STV have a little fight here, going to run away, regen some shields, be as annoying as possible, maybe even delay the CC if he can.
Yeah, just kind of being annoying over here onto the Terran side of the map. And it's Classic with a quick Nexus. So basically starts his tech and then gets that Nexus up as fast as he can here. And let's see what kind of game, as we get into the mid-game, Classic is going to bring us here. You know, he had, I think, a really cool style that I don't know if you can really bring out anymore in the previous year of RSL, where he was really kind of doing like 2-base storm rushes. And kind of just, almost playing, like in my head I call it single player, which isn't like really a fair way to talk about it, but you basically just sit back and like expand and grow. And he was making it a game where the Terran had to kill him, but we're in a different iteration of the game, and Storm, of course, has been radically changed, in the middle of 2025 here. So I'm still interested in seeing how exactly Classic wants to approach it. Does he want to have more of an active play? Does he want to try to be, someone who just is trying to kind of build up and be too big to fail, or, what exactly are his ideas?
Yeah, indeed. We'll have to see. Right now we have a Stalker movement across the map, and Classic went core before Nexus. So this is basically the fastest Stalker you can get, is making a beeline straight to the Terran base. Luckily for Maru, he made his CC on the high ground. Yeah. If it was in the low ground, he might be in some trouble here, and we do see a starport being made in the middle of the map.
So this is probably to set up for a Hellion drop. I was gonna say the Stalker can't reach that SCV, right?
Oh.
Maybe even move to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna finish it up, and he doesn't see a starport, but you kind of know that one's being made.
Oh,
okay.
That's so cheeky. Lowering the depot. Come in. Come in. Welcome.
Let's get a little bit more damage off on you.
Yeah. Although with 2 Stalkers, you got to be careful. These can actually start to do some damage. The shields we will regen on them, obviously. And right now, Classic's just trying to figure out what Maru's up to exactly. Like, where is your starport? What's it doing?
Yeah, well, it's a funny play, because you see the Hellions and you got to think, okay, I didn't see a starport. And then you see 4 come out like this, and you're like, this is a drop, right? Like, this is pretty common right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has got to be weird for Maru here, because you're like, do I just send him back home? I mean, you're not getting any value if you don't use him, but I feel like this screams drop. I think Classic has a very good read on this.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he actually managed to get one of those Hellions and recall his Stalkers home in time. They're going to meet this medevac as it flies into the base. He's going to boost over, tries to unload them. One Hellion going to go down. Oh, no, not actually going to go down instantly. Will go down after the medevac, which is picked off first. Nice focus fire by Classic, and only 5 probes go down.
Yeah. I thought that was actually going to be a lot worse for him, but I mean, 5 probes isn't nothing either.
Right.
But you take out the medevac, you take out the Hellions. I mean, that was pretty good. Even if it's a block over here, damaging this Hellion to about half HP.
Yeah, and behind this, Classic has taken a 3rd. He's going for Blink. He's even got his Robo finishing up. Like, he didn't really invest into the defense there, and he still didn't take too much damage, so I really like his spot right now. And once Blink finishes, he's going to be able to move across the map and maybe even be very aggressive. We'll have to see how he wants to play this. Tanks are on the way, so Maru will be able to put those in key locations. We've got a Forge as well for the upgrades. Only 2 gateways available right now, so making Stalkers 2 at a time is possible for Classic as these Hellions just run around.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty smooth start here for Classic. For some perspective, the 5 probes that are killed, that doesn't even pay for the Hellions. Right, and you lost the medevac as well. Plus, there's like travel time for the starport to go over and get into the main, so it's uncomfortable. I mean, that's the double-edged sword of a build like that, but I think there was some genius to Classic kind of coming out and just occupying the entrance. Because that build's been so common. When you see 4 Hellions come out, you're like, okay, oh my god, he's just getting more and more. When you see 4 Hellions come out like that, you're like, yeah, I know what this is.
Right,
this is,
right.
You know, that's the exact amount of Hellions that fit into one medevac, and this is a common build to go for. So he's going to go for a lot more gateways. He might try to play a game where he just tries to keep Terran off of a third base, which I think is not a bad idea. I mean, he's killed off so much stuff, and you didn't lose a single stalker in this process, by the way.
Yeah, he's been very, very efficient. Stim only now just beginning. Maru is going for a third CC, so he's not all in or anything like that, but these Stalkers are going to be a big nuisance here as he tries to land the CC eventually, as they're going to roam around here. If anything flies out, they'll get it. The Raven, who you often like to send to the mineral line and harass with, is actually at home right now. The Observer gives him high ground vision, so he's able to make a decision if he does want to jump on something. He actually has 2 Observers, so he sees everything right now.
Yeah. Now, we see a lot of games where they try to blink up into the main. That's not one of these games.
Right.
This is a very different looking game. That we're basically past that point where you could do anything like that. But you can buy time. I mean, the 4th base is going to be up and running. Terran, you know, they've got enough that you got to be respectful of what they have. At the same time, I mean, you know, Charge is about to finish. We're going to have the first Colossus, and by the time the second Colossus is done, Thermal Lance is going to be done. The 4th Nexus will be mining by then. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things going on right now here for Classic.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Maru is like a tempo behind where you might normally be. If you're, you know, the Terran and you're trying to do a push, you want to hit quite early. But Classic already has his 4th base. We often see the Terrans pushing the 3rd base, that kind of thing. Obviously, he went for the Hellion drop, which delays that as well. And it just feels like Classic's tech is so far ahead in this game. We have the Colossus and Thermal Lance on the way. The 2nd Forge coming in now for double upgrades. Maru added in a Liberator here, as well as his Combat Shield and +1 attack and defense. So, yeah, I feel like if Maru just sits back and does nothing, Classic's going to be in a really good spot here.
I think so. I think, you know, the game slows down dramatically. Classic taking a 5th base. Wow. And look at the location, by the way. That's pretty bold. It might not get scanned, though.
Yeah, normally you would, I mean, where would you scan? Perhaps the front base, right? That's the
one in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
That's probably where you're looking. So it's almost like he's expanding around that. But the other base you might check for would be the top left.
Right.
You might think he's going to just hug the top of the map. So this could be in a blind spot. That being said, it's a very attackable position if Terran sees it.
Yeah, you have a very short push distance from the Terran natural to that base if you want to do that. Classic adding on so many gateways right now, as well as the Templar Archives. He's going to be able to, you know, go into Storm eventually if he chooses so. He's got a Zealot count that is rising here. A lot of tanks for Maru, as he just kind of seems content to sit at home and slowly take extra bases. Now getting his 4th as he, you know, increases his army supply. Maybe he just tries to turtle this out. Like, I'm kind of trying to figure out if Maru is going to be aggressive at some point, or if he's just going to play the long game here.
Yeah. Dude, it's base mania over here. I can't believe
that's an odd base to take down there.
That's insane. Why is he?
I guess you can push from it and defend it at the same time.
I guess these bases become good locations to launch counterattacks from. I don't know. That's I mean, I thought, okay, if you told me he was going to take another base after this, I thought it'd be the top left.
Right. Yeah, top left or the front.
Here's what's funny is when Terran does take a 4th base, Protoss is going to be right there.
Yeah.
Protoss's nose is going to be right up to the glass to where that base is. Like, it's kind of crazy looking. Now, Maru's got a pretty decent army here, but, you know, Protoss has a lot to work with. I mean, we're going to have, 3, 4, 5, 6 base Protoss here versus a 3 base Terran. That's double the bases.
Yeah, it's a lot of bases. Classic is now maxed out, which means he's going to try to probably trade some units at some point. The Terran army can be very scary if he is able to max himself. As these ghosts are being added in, as well as the Vikings, Classic now going for the air toss transition, adding in those extra Stargates as well as the Fleet Beacon. And is Maru going to be able to take a 4th here is the question, I feel like. Once he lifts that CC and moves it out, that might be Classic's cue to go, and then reinforce with the bank that he's starting to accrue here.
This is another base coming down. This is so crazy. I I don't feel like I've casted a game where Protoss grew this fast, this quickly. I mean, this is insane. 93 probes.
Yeah.
Half of the possible supply in the game. Literally, half of his supply right now is probes. So, I mean, he's ran out of room to make gateways in the main. Look at the whole main. It looks like he's farming gateways, like he's growing them out in these big long lines, like they're crops.
Like a Stardew Valley.
Yeah, exactly. This is okay. Hold up. We got an attack coming in here.
Yeah, Classic going to push in up this ramp, though. I'm not so sure about this. It seems like the trade went decently for Maru. Some EMPs going down, but I think as Classic, you just want to be trading anything. As you have so many more workers and bases, if you can deny this fourth of Terran, even if you throw away a lot of army to do it, it can be very worth it. That is a very aesthetically pleasing siege tank line there. All hugging the top of that high ground.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually kind of a... if you just showed me a screenshot of this, I would never believe this is like a Mario game right now.
It's like from this cinematic.
It's like
something.
box art. Yeah. It's so he's going to send these zealots up here. He's going to sack actually a lot, but he can basically keep his distance and try to keep poking at the space. Now, Classic might have sacrificed too much. By the way, we're running out of map here for Classic. I mean, Classic now is taking the middle base. He's literally taking every base.
Yeah, there's only one base, two bases unoccupied on the map. One of them is Maru's 5th, and the other one's that kind of 9 o'clock base. Classic has the rest.
This is crazy how much of the map is. We're 12 minutes in, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 bases.
That's as many fingers as I have, Tasteless.
That's right.
That's a lot of bases, dude.
Yeah, and if he gets one more, he's going to have the number of fingers from the guy, the piano player from Gattaca. I mean, he's gonna have as many fingers as a 12-fingered man.
Okay.
I mean, this is nuts. Terran's going to come out, but here's the thing. You have, like, enough. You can give up these bases. That's a tax write-off.
Right, yeah, indeed. Each base becomes less valuable the more you have.
Yeah.
You can afford to lose them, but Maru is doing a good job of spreading his units out here, just trying to kind of get some economic damage done. I mean, you don't want to just let Classic grow forever, although he kind of has, but now Maru is maxed, and this is where he can actually start to make progress in this game by taking really, really efficient fights and just basically bleed in the Protoss out. Say, okay, you have the whole map, but my army is unkillable. We have 4 carriers, and a mothership there. Oh, 7 carriers. I didn't see the other ones. Yeah, 7 carriers as these other 3 come on over. So Classic's actually transitioned into air pretty quickly here. And will Maru be ready for it?
I just don't know what Maru can do. I mean, this goes to show you what happens when Protoss can get a lead like this. This is there's still interceptor accumulation occurring, but like, does Terran have enough to fight this?
Yeah, I don't know. He's making Vikings 3 at a time, which is good. Obviously, his army's running all the way to the top left of the map. That little squad of Marus. We'll get another base probably, unless anything's recalled. He's also hitting down in the bottom right. He's trying to buy time here and harass Classic at the same time. Some good moves by Maru. As this air army is very slow, floating around, kind of.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is you can always kind of just circumvent the carriers and not really engage with them, and basically play keep away. Nice storms here, really softening up that infantry. Maru's finally taken a 5th base at 6 o'clock. I wonder if it would have been wiser for Classic to have just attacked a little bit earlier here.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he kind of wanted to trade, but it went so badly attacking up that rank into the tanks that I feel like he's just gone for the transition instead. Maru now is getting his 3-3 on the way. He's getting Cloak. The Mothership recall happens right at the front here. Classic going to pull the trigger on the 5th base of Maru. Here come the carriers now fully shown for the first time, and they will melt this base pretty quickly. The SCV is forced to evacuate. Maru does get another base for himself. Good counterattack with that army. And as the dust settles, is Maru able to hold on here?
Yeah, well, this is the big question here. Now, you want to be really careful with those Vikings because if the storm hits that, oh my god. They are so stacked right now. Now, Terran's supply plummets to 160. And it seems like Classic's defensive Maru is pretty good. He's going to go back. He's not even needing to remake interceptors right now. He's just continuing to get upgrades. And you got to remember that, like, the fourth base, this one that's over here, this is the only thing Terran has. Now, it is, like, by far the most defended location on the map. But, you know, look at the mini-map. I mean, Classic has just an absurd... It's like, you know, one of those final campaign missions, right? Where the Protoss has the whole map. You got to push out and take out all these different bases. I mean, it's going to be so hard for Maru to get anything done, because even if he tries to do, like, a small attack out and hit somewhere else, it's like, okay, well, Classic has, like, tons of bases he can lose. He's still going to be mining. And by the way, he's at, like, 5k minerals, 2.6k gas.
Yeah, the bank is insane here. Really has, like, 250 army supply once he warps in after losing some units. And as Maru, I mean, you want to take this fifth base, but just can you? I don't think you can right now. I mean, if you lose it, that is a travesty. You definitely want to keep hold of that CC. And at some point, Maru's going to have to fight for it. He is maxed out now again, and he has a better army composition against what Classic has here. Tons of Vikings, pick off a carrier right away. Good beginning here to the engagement by Maru. We'll back up for now as Classic postures at the front.
Yep, he activates Cloak here. We're coming in. Templars are pulled. Storms should be ready.
And
again, it's just so hard to get close.
Yeah, but will he get the CC here? That would be a very nice pick-off.
Nicely done.
Okay, so he can just back off, remax again, and then when Maru tries to take that fifth base again, do the same thing. Maru is starting to mine out at his bases. You're going to have to lift CCs. They will be difficult to hold on to as you kind of, your Terran army split in multiple places. Unless it's these drops that are out on the map. We'll clear up all this static defense. Kind of funny that that's there with no Nexus. Just a ton of cannons hanging out.
I mean, he's got the funds. He can just throw stuff down like that. So what's going to happen is he's going to do a little swap here. Not with his whole army, though. I think he probably wanted more than that. And then he could just chase this back down. And, I mean, the patches at the fourth base are disappearing. So, I mean, the income is getting worse and worse here for Maru. And you got to remember, like, even though it's hard to engage Maru, like, the Vikings can kind of play keep away from the carriers. And, Terran's just a great race when it comes to kiting.
Yeah.
Like, time is running out. Whatever location is going to be taken will not be nearly as defended as the fourth base.
Oh,
he's going to recall it. He's going to recall it.
He's sending that mothership around. A huge recall here into the fifth base on top of the CC. Maru's army not quite in position, but will run back as quickly as it can. Some turrets go down. Couple Liberators and the tank as well. And once again, he denies Maru from mining a fifth base.
Yeah. This is a crazy endgame here. Again, it just seems so impossible for Terran to win. It very well could be impossible for Terran to win. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not even necessarily speaking poetically here. Terran just can't get, their feet on the ground outside their base. The moment Protoss runs over there, the damage starts to come.
Yeah, if you can kind of get a ton of turrets at a fifth base and hang on to it, maybe that's the way you stay in this game as Maru. He's going to move up to the top side of the map as Classic pushes in down here. There's no army except these Vikings. They will try to get in a position to snipe some of these expensive units of Classics. The Storm zoning them for now, and Maru is going to decide to come home and try to fight this.
Yeah, and he's doing a ton of damage over here. So Maru gets his extra base up here. Oh my god, you could storm right over that area. Beautifully done. It didn't even occur to me you could actually just hit that from behind like that once you clear that out.
Yeah, hitting it from behind indeed is 14 SCVs.
That's my favorite position when I attack. What's so funny about this? So he's oh god, he's gonna eat more storms over here. So what Maru has to do, what Classic has to do now is actually loop around and probably just poke out this final base. The fourth base is almost mined out. There's not turrets up here yet. It looks like he's about to start it.
Yeah, indeed, making those turrets.
There's nothing funny about this, Sturgeon. I know you only like to attack in missionary, okay?
I'm sorry for lowering the tone.
Gotta mix it up. Jesus.
So yes, what was it? Variety is the spice of life,
right,
as they say. Yeah. Once again, Classic gonna warp in the carriers down here. There's no CC though, Tasteless.
No, there's none. Well, there is one over here, but it's getting chased away. And I guess you can actually just push the infrastructure here.
Yeah, I mean,
this is really not defended at all. You never really see Terran die to like sky toss like this, but you can now.
You can, yeah.
What a time to be alive. Okay.
The Vikings trying to get an angle here, but the Storms just zoning them out is so good. Okay, in comes the Ghost. EMP is going to have to go down here if Maru wants to be able to win this fight. Maru finally going to pull the trigger. We're finally going to get the big fight. And oh my god, the carriers are falling quickly, as is the ground army. I think Maru is actually doing a very good job in this fight. Going to smash this Protoss army.
Okay, but Classic has $1 million.
He has 12,000
He's got a
minerals.
blank check. So he can just warp in whatever he wants. Now, obviously, Colossus, carriers, stuff like that, you can't get quickly, right? But, you know, gateway units, yeah, you can get them real fast. And so he's going to come over here, he's going to wipe this base out now.
Yeah, indeed. But the one thing you can see is carriers take a long time to build, as do Colossus. So he can make a ton of gateway units, but is that going to cut it at this point? He's going to try and get this CC as Maru starts to move across the map, taking out CCs in his wake. Just this ragtag squad of Stalkers trying to get whatever they can. There is a planetary and a bunch of tanks there, so I'm not sure if they can attack into that. Maybe they have to at some point. Classic kind of, I'm not sure if he knows what he wants to do here. Huge EMP going down on all those Stalkers, though. The Vikings land. They're going to try and help out, but actually getting shredded by the Zealot Stalker there.
Says, oh, well.
What are they doing here? Up, down, up, down?
I think he hit the key too many times there. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, we can have this blasting army come through here and try to get as many kills as possible, but again, the pockets are just so deep here for Classic. Maru, you know, I gotta say, even these games where he's gonna lose, I'm still blown away by how good he is.
Yeah.
Like, he just makes the Protoss work so hard for this.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's amazing that he's still in this game, honestly, considering how insane Classic's eco was, but here he is, and still looking dangerous in the middle of the map. Got these tanks still sieged from before. Will Classic engage into this? He will. He has some Archons thrown in the mix as well. Is this the fight you're looking for, though, as Classic? Some probes even coming in. Maru taking an amazing trade here.
Yeah, Maru so low on supply here. All he's got is this kiting army here, and that time's limited too because those medevacs don't have infinite energy. You know, we've got Terran long-distance mining, and you know, I think we are very close to the end here. Crazy game here from Classic. I mean, Classic got a lead and then got the lead of all leads.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of a PvT I've casted where someone was that far ahead. And then Maru kind of just was able to make the game go on and on and on.
Yeah, indeed. Maru hung in there for a very long time. He had some really good fights. Like, he took the fights extremely well.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have the eco behind it to, you know, produce as much as Classic and have sustained battles over time. And Classic wears him down in the end.
Yeah. Crazy game, though. I mean, I really enjoyed what we saw there. Honestly, I think if we have Maru with a cleaner opening, should be a little bit better. But Classic can, like, run away with the entire map. Also, I guess we're never going to get the answer to this, but the interesting expansion positions.
Right.
When he took the 6th base and the 7th, he took him close to the center, which basically you never see in any matchup ever, right?
Yeah, it's very rare.
I don't know.
But, like, I guess if you're attacking past them as the Protoss, you can defend them behind you. That can account for one of the bases.
Yeah.
But then you have the other one on the other side, so...
I guess with Recall, too, you can kind of just warp between them and then also use them as launching pads for attacks. I don't know. Very interesting games.
Yeah. Indeed. And let's not forget, that began with the... not failed, but not as effective as you would hope. Hellion drop.
Right.
The Classic dealt with very well. He went for the super quick double stalker. Kind of saw the Hellions as they came down the ramp. This is as early as you can possibly scout it.
I almost wonder if it's better to send the medevac to your base and sneak them back out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because when he sent the
from
4
the
out,
proxy.
yeah. I mean, it's not it's the longest possible route, but like when you see the 4 Hellions leave on that map, you're like, okay, there's a starport on the map. I know what this is. You know, it was very well detected. All right. We've got Classic here in the bottom right. We've got Maru here in the top left.
Indeed. Ruby Rock is going to be our second map here. If Classic wins this, he is advancing from the group. I was going to say out of the group, but yeah, he advances from the group in first place, and Maru will go on to the decider match. So let's see if he's able to clutch it, or if Maru can fight back and take us to a game 3.
Yeah, hopefully we do get a game 3. I felt like we didn't get the TVP I think we all wanted back there, just because, you know, Maru got I actually don't think he got so far behind. His Classic got so far ahead that it was crazy. I mean, Maru almost in some ways it was a flex that he even lasted for that long, right?
Right.
So we've got the early Probe Scout here, and we're probably just going to have the early Nexus coming up here for Classic in a sec. Getting his tech out first, and then going into an expansion play.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes Core or Nexus here in a sec. As this SCV will shoo away the probe for the moment as the Rax finishes up, and we will be looking to see what both of these guys want to do. I like the opening from Classic last time, the double Stalker. It gives you a lot of info, which against Terran I feel like is key, just because they have so many different builds they can throw at you.
Right.
So yeah, we do see it's going to be a Core again before the Nexus. So he will be able to do the same thing again if he does want to. It's kind of up to him as this probe is still be annoying. Will Maru try to take the CC on the low ground this time? He made it in the main last game. Looks like he will.
Yeah, finally gets that CC thrown down there. Uh-oh.
Send
that back
SCV,
too soon.
come back.
What is happening? Yeah. You
Okay.
gotta respect the fact that that can do a lot of damage if you're not ready. So we have the Cybernetics Core finishing up. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a slower game here. But Classic, you know, I was musing about what he might do in that game, and man, did he ever just go for that kind of take the map and you figure it out. And eventually he had so much of the map that it was like he was everywhere, literally.
Yeah.
And, you know, you were literally in a position as Classic to let half of your fresh bases get killed off just to kill one base. It's completely acceptable. And you can't really ask for a better spot to be in as the macro kind of growth side race in whatever matchup, in whatever case the meta's in. So, I mean, talk about smooth sailing here. I don't know if he'll be able to ever get that much of a lead again, but if he does, I think Classic really is unstoppable.
I agree. This game, though, Maru is going for this 3 racks here with the concussive shells already finished now, just before 3 minutes. Classic sees the Marauders nice and early. That's going to give him the heads up that this is on the way. Stim is the follow-up to the kind of beefy Marauders. Think about walking across the map. They're going to turn back for the moment, and Classic going to go straight into the Twilight here.
Yeah. Probably going to be 2 gate into expand, but we could have Robo and more gates coming down here.
Yeah, how many Marauders is he going to go with here? He's just starting to accrue them, going for, you know, concussive shells before Stim. Very interesting, obviously. Can be aggressive with that. Starting to add in some Marines now as well. He's got an eBay on the way. Going to be able to get that +1. And then maybe he's going to wait for Stim and try to hit some kind of timing here. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I wonder. Also, if he's getting +1, maybe he wants to wait for, like, combat shields, too? Possibly, but, you know, a lot of games we've seen them just go for pure macro, but I think mixing, like, weaving in one... oh, well, you know what? This is even getting more interesting. So I was going to say weaving in, like, some kind of a early mid-game control play can really trip up a macro player, but in this game, Classic's going for the 4-gate Observer, Warp Prism, Stalker Blink attack, which is especially strong when the Terran starts on the left side of the map because their add-ons point out to the other side. But yeah, we're going to be in a game where they're both basically ready to attack each other, so let's see how this goes down.
Yeah, Classic showing a lot of respect to the potential of this build from Maru. Not going to take the earliest 3rd CC he can, 3rd Nexus, excuse me. The Adept going to shade in here, try to get an idea of how many units are here exactly. He does not know about these racks in the main right now, which are producing a lot of Marines. Finally, now we have a factory being added on. And Classic just starting to think about a 3rd Nexus here as he's warping in a ton of Stalkers. As well as the Blink and Warp Prism will finish up. Basically, very well lined up there. I guess both of those at the same time, and now he can move out on the map. He's looking all around the map for units, buildings, anything of Terran that might be hiding in some corner.
Okay, he's going to send the rest of these units out. And, you know, even when you're powering up, you can be abused as Terran while this is going on. So you got to be ready. A lot of it comes down to the first blinks, and the first couple blinks, and, like, what do they target? So, like, see this? Oh, my God.
The combat shields.
The combat shields are right there.
And he has a sentry. He can force with the ramp. Oh, no, he goes for the Guardian Shield instead.
He's got the Guardian Shield.
Okay, the bio is here. Hopefully they can hang on to this combat shield. It's so important. Going to pull some SCVs as well. The Stalkers blink down to the low ground here, Tasteless.
I mean, that was an insane trade there. And he's going to warp in more. Now remember, there's no heal right now.
Oh, you got to repair this.
Yeah.
It's going to finish? It's just going to finish in time? Yeah, okay, it will finish.
Okay, so yeah, again, with no heal, I mean, that's a very, very squishy Terran army.
Yes.
Every time these shots come down, ooh, it's going to be thinned out a little bit more. And I mean, we're talking about a lot of 1 HP Marines here. The heals are going to come down, but I mean, it's only 2 heals per Terran unit, and there's a lot of damage distribution coming down here. And by the way, these medevacs are probably going to deplete pretty quickly here, too. There's more warping in over here. Terran's going down for a second. And yeah, okay, so right now Classic's not sure if he wants to commit. Remember, if Classic were to just like blink up here and mishandle this, he would just get slaughtered.
Yeah. Yeah, this Terran army is pretty scary once it stims. Gonna once again try to get anything he can here. 1 tank available, gonna siege behind that building there. Nice position on that. More upgrades coming out, and okay, Maru's doing a double drop across the map while Classic is at his front door.
Yeah.
Very ballsy maneuver there. Will it pay off as Classic? There might be a window here for him to just pull the trigger.
I was going to say, like, while that's in transit, you are vulnerable, and this is going to force a CC up, but he's not going to stop. Now, what's back at home? What's back at home for Protoss? Oh, his whole army, Sturgeon, that's what!
All the Stalkers go home, but maybe that's good for Maru, like finally getting the pressure off of him for a moment.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Classic's playing a great game. I mean, Maru's really taken quite a beating. Oh.
Here it comes.
Pull the boys.
He's putting the boys. The Observer sees it very early, though. So Classic has lots of time to get in position for this. Going to throw down a bunch of buildings there. Engage on the ramp. Blink back the weak Stalkers. Try to get as many pickups as he can before these siege tanks siege. Maru going to take out the rocks. That's going to give some extra surface areas.
I don't know about this position here for Classic. All right. He's like running down the ramp for a second. I'm like, no, that's not it.
Still good after these rocks, even while stimming.
Kind of insane here with the rocks and the Protoss here. He's attacking everything.
Those rocks had it coming, man. That pylon goes down. The Zealots all fall. Maru gets onto the Stalkers here.
Oh, okay, Colossus is out. The juggling is pretty good. Okay, it seems like the targeting, though, was not. Remember that Terran pulled so many SCVs here, so I mean, you kind of have to seal the deal here with this.
Yeah, it looks like he might be able to. All the Protoss army going down. This third base will fall. He still has the tank. He's going to reposition that. The Stalker's getting in between the army here. Going to try and
he can snipe.
Flank here. Oh, he does get the base, thankfully. And the pylon as well, and then going to disengage here.
I think he can just go back. We played the game out like that.
He's down so many workers, though.
But more warp-ins. You know, the stems, there's not a lot of energy here in these medevacs.
Full medevac goes down there.
This is crazy. So it's 29 SCVs to 42 probes.
Yeah.
A pretty open, exposed natural here. I don't know that Protoss can attack in. Well, he's got the tanks here now, so maybe he can siege up and be safe. The Protoss is just going to take the third again, continue to upgrade, continue to develop. And I don't know what Terran wants to do. I mean, okay, he's going to actually do a Colossus drop. What year is this?
Wow.
Is this 2010?
This is so sick. Going to pick off some SCVs here. There are 2 Vikings in production, though. He'll have to make sure he has a recall available. You do not want to lose a Warp Prism and a Colossus. There is the recall. It will just get out of there in the nick of time. Nice little harass. 4 SCVs for free, basically. Why not?
That was great. Just take any other jabs you can get in there. The Warp Prism is low, so it's going to be a little bit harder to juggle with it later. And, The Boys 2?
The Boys 2.
Is the sequel better than the original? Yeah, Season 2 of The Boys?
Season 2 is good, man.
Yeah, the question is, how many more seasons can there be? Because this hold on a second. He's going to come down now. This Zealots are actually... Hold on a second. The SCVs are kind of doing their job.
They just ran straight past the Protoss army, but they took a ton of Colossus hits, though.
Yeah, it was weird because the Colossus were basically zapping them as they were going through. The 2 tanks you really want to watch for, because if he gets them sieged up to anything that's pretty relevant, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, he's sectioning off this Protoss army, trying to, force them away from the third base.
What? Was he attacking back there? He said he accidentally attacked himself there for a second. Not a lot of Vikings, by the way.
Yeah, just a few at the front, but that Colossus is already weak. Both 2 of these Colossus super weak, actually. If he could focus them down, that would be good. 1 Colossus remains, but this Protoss army is strong. There's more Zealots coming in. I think Classic is doing it here.
Yeah, I think he did it. I think, yeah, there it is. GG. Wow, classic winning that. That was crazy.
That was an insane game.
I loved that game. That was awesome.
That's my favorite game ever.
Such an interesting moment that, and I think a lot of that came back to that blink into the main.
Yeah.
At the start. There's just not, the Terran units are so bad when they don't have medevacs in certain situations, especially against something like Stalker Blink. You know, it's hard to get, you can just be out microed. You don't have any tools. You have no way to kind of fight back. And from there, I mean, Maru, again, plays an amazing game even when he's really behind.
Yeah, he still finds really good timings with the SC view pool to have a chance to win that game.
Yeah.
Both those attacks looked scary. The first one looked way scarier than the second one.
Yeah.
But Classic dealt with it very well. Hangs in there. His third base kicks in. Well, he lost the third base. He remakes it, gets his eco back online, and he's able to produce enough to hold off Maru for the second time with the SC view pool. Really impressive stuff. He will make it out of this group in first place.
Nicely done. Classic earning that position here. Here's the story so far. We had an amazing year one here with season 1, 2, 3, and of course our offline finals. Season 4 was amazing. Congrats to Max Pax for winning that. Who's going to take season 5? I don't know, man. It's so early, but I got to say, you know, each of these seasons just get better and better.
Yeah, indeed. Both these Protoss players only got happy once they won 2 championships. I got to point out.
That's
They're
right.
like, one,
Look how unsatisfied Hero was.
Yeah,
the
one.
season. Then he got the he got the offline. He's like, all right, not bad. So guys, we're gonna take a short break. Coming up next, it's gonna be the losers match to see who gets eliminated first in Group A. We'll be right back.
58 Lings going down.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going into the losers match coming up next. It's going to be a ZVZ. GgMaChine is going to be playing against Rogue to see if he can do anything in this group, have any sort of upset. It's going to be a very difficult battle for him, but we're finally having another ZVZ in the RSL after what feels like an eternity.
Let's go!
Sturgeon is so elated. He didn't even think that this was a possibility anymore.
I knew this day was coming. Finally, some Zerg versus Zerg.
Finally,
action.
Zergs would go back to their rightful spot on the throne of winning everything.
Being eliminated from the group.
Oh, what the hell.
No, I am really excited to watch some Zerg versus Zerg. Rogue is a master of this matchup. He is so good at kind of all stages of the game. He's one of the best late game Zergs, I think, up there with Seoul. I think they have that classic, you know, kind of legendary series that one time. Mm-hmm. He can hang in the late game with anybody. GgMaChine, he's he's newer to the scene. He's only 16 years old, making his first appearance here in the RSL, and now he's up against one of the top dogs, Rogue.
Oh yeah, he's going against Rogue in this match. It's going to be very fun, of course. Ruby Rock going to be coming up first, then Missing You Today, and then Old Republic are the 3 maps. We're going to get loaded on into map number 1, GgMaChine versus Rogue. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going indeed, as already I see nothing being made on the side of Rogue. We have a 12 pool to start things off here. Oh, baby. We're back. We are so back.
We are so back. I mean, we were talking about this in the other series for GgMaChine versus Classic, where I mentioned how Classic kind of, in the past, used to bring the approach back in the Pro League days where he would just rush somebody that was new, someone that was less experienced. And it looks like Rogue is going to be the one that is also taking that type of mentality here. We'll be throwing out a cheeky little 12 pool to start this off, to throw GgMaChine off potentially in this series. And he's going to go for his normal hatch first here. So we'll see what his reaction is going to be. We'll see how how panicked he is in his response, if he's able to keep it cool, or if he's just going to get kind of rolled over by this pretty aggressive opener.
Yeah, indeed. You can kind of play this very aggressively if you want to bring a couple drones and make spines, or you can just macro out of it. We do see he's taking a gas here, which means he will be more aggressive than if he were to just take his hatchery after making some of the lings. He will get the hatchery eventually here, but yeah, the gas is a big tell here that this is going to be some aggression. And it's all about if this first Overlord can see the lings as they cross the map. Will he just send them the quickest way, which will get them spotted, or will he go round? He's actually not going to be seen here by the Overlord. Not by the first one, anyway. There is a second Overlord here, so Rogue will, Machine will see it come in a little bit later, and then it's all about how he responds here.
Yeah, going to be getting this information about as late as possible. So now, of course, what is the response as he sees these lings coming on in? The hatchery, of course, will be completed at this point. I feel like you don't cancel that. That would be crazy. So, of course, wants to be able to fight for this low ground. It'll take quite a while for those lings to actually kill it. And he's going to pull the drones to make sure that he can get these lings off of the hatchery and keep it alive for as long as possible. Hopefully get these queens out and actually buy some more time as well for the lings of his own to make the field.
Yeah, as soon as those lings pop and you have them all together, that's the time you want to take the fight with the drones that you've also pulled. He's doing a very good job so far, not losing much. Just buying as much time as he can here to get enough units out. The drone's going to mineral walk there and try to take the fight, but they don't quite get the engagement they're looking for. Behind this, Rogue is going for more lings and ling speed. So even though he took that hatchery, he is not macroing behind this. He is just going to be full sending it here in game number 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, the drone's not really pairing up with the lings of GgMaChine there too well to get incredible trades, but will eventually kill this off with the queens coming in as well. It felt like some of the drones and lings were getting kind of juked a little bit here and there. A lot of mining time, of course, being lost, but of course you can you know, that doesn't matter too much when you're playing on the defensive as the Zerg against the 12 pool, because you need to be able to actually defend at all. You need to make sure you can keep that hatchery alive. If you lose the hatchery, things just get absolutely ridiculous, and so you gotta, of course, pull those drones a lot. Unfortunately for GgMaChine, he doesn't really know exactly what the response or the follow-up is going to be just yet. He's trying to get that information right now with the double ling, trying to get in, sees a very naked natural right there from Rogue, and now he needs to realize that there's something coming.
The only chance he has of surviving this game is a full wall with spines and queens behind it. There's so many lings out here for Rogue. Going to start to work on these Evo chambers. He has more lings coming across the map right now. He's going to have to play base defense here, as he's going to have to make more Evos behind this. If this wall ever falls and the lings get in, the game is instantly over. GgMaChine trying to defend as best he can, pulling the drones as well to try and block the gap, but the lings will shred those. The one spine crawler doing a lot of damage here, but it looks like the wall has been breached just about. The lings get in, and that is going to be so many drones falling here, the queens and the spine as well. GgMaChine in so much trouble right now.
Honestly, it looked for a second like he was gonna make the defense. The lings were actually doing pretty good, and the queens were body blocking for quite a while there. The drone pull able to deny the lings getting in for a little bit, but honestly, that is just so many lings coming across the map here for Rogue. So eventually they are gonna break on through. GgMaChine looking like he's got nothing left to stand on in this game as the hatchery does fall. Lings getting killed off as they spawn in the natural as well. He's gonna run right on up. Rogue with a very swift game number 1.
Yeah, it's a very good mine there by mine game by Rogue. He takes the hatchery at a similar timing as you would with a macro 12 pool. It is a little bit later because he gets the gas first, and whether or not you can defend that kind of comes down to whether or not you know about that difference. Because he's hiding the lings at home. You're not going to see those unless you get a ling in somehow. You're not going to see it with an overlord. There's a queen at the front, and it's just very difficult to scout that, honestly. And you know, he makes extra drones. He doesn't make the lings. Tries to frantically make a wall, which is the only chance to hang in there, but yeah, at that point, it was just a little bit too late and too many lings for Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do at that point? It's a good attempt again from GgMaChine, but just you can see the class difference between these players. I mean, it's a terrible situation for him being thrown into this group. Not a single bone being thrown his way with someone potentially a little less, you know, more towards his skill level. So,
right,
I mean, yeah. Rogue, Maru, and Classic. Like, what can you
this
really
expect?
This
is the deep end.
This is insanity. Like, you could not get a harder group than this. And yeah, I mean, he's kind of feeling it right now. I mean, that game win, not very good. But, I mean, let's be honest, the last series that they played, he played against Classic. The second game looked a little bit better. He was able to rebound a bit more, get a more macro game going, and he had some moments there where he was, you know, taking some good fights. So perhaps maybe it's just like kind of a game one nerves coming in the series as well. So maybe he's going to be able to lock in a little bit better for game number 2.
Yeah, it's also a very tricky build. If Rogue plays more standard, I think he'll do better. Get into a better position and hopefully show what he's capable of here in his first RSL appearance. I would love to see a slightly longer game, as it is the first ZVZ we've had in a long time. Please don't 12 falling again, Rogue. Yeah, I'd like to see a longer game, but that is up to the players. Right now, we do see there are no 12 pools happening. Both players making drones. That is what I like to see right now.
Yes, nothing super insanely fast just yet, so we'll be able to hopefully get a little bit more interesting of a game, a little bit longer one as well. So Rogue on the bottom right and GgMaChine over on the top left-hand side of Missing You Today. one of the most interestingly named maps in StarCraft history, I feel like. It's a bit of a stranger one, but apparently it's named after a famous Korean song that the map maker really likes, so that's the whole idea with it. But yeah, definitely a more unique map name and a more unique map layout when you just look at it itself. So some interesting games we've had so far overall last season as well. So fun to see it still coming in this season, not getting voted out by the voters of the Patreon. And cool to see the pros still kind of picking some of these more lesser known maps.
The Patreon have spoken. It stays. It's like in Gladiator, the thumbs up, thumbs down,
exactly.
like Necropolis, thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm honestly
Tydo Citadel, thumbs down.
I'm honestly surprised that Throne of the Dunes got voted out, because that was one that got voted in last season, and I thought it was actually, a lot of players were picking it. It was actually kind of a nice, good, solid map, but it got voted out, so I was kind of surprised about that.
I was sad Mothership got left.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest maps.
I agree. I think it did kind of run its course a little bit. We did kind of see it a decent amount in the last few seasons, so I'm not too surprised. But I'm glad that we still got Exarch voted in as a 4-player map. So we upped it. We went from a 3-player to a 4-player map. But
next season we'll have an 8-player map.
Yeah, we just play one of those ridiculous like mono battle maps or whatever that just has just insane bases all over the place. That would be ridiculous, but yeah, not the case. But anyways, hopefully we can see Exarch eventually as well, because that's a very cool looking map. It's a beautiful map as well, so it would be great to see that one.
Yeah, it would indeed. Both these guys opening very standard here. We got double queens on the way. We got the Ling speed a tad faster here for Rogue. Going to be just being made now for GgMaChine. And then basically you drone the 27, 28, and then you have the choice if you want to be aggressive, if you also take the third base before that. That's kind of the point you can make that decision. Taking one drone there out of gas, just for a little bit more minerals, get that third base a little bit quicker, but still have enough gas for your Baneling nest on time. Just these small little details in ZVZ that are so fascinating, Gemini.
So fascinating, yes. I'm sure that is just riveting stuff.
It is, dude.
As a Zerg player. But, yeah, well, I guess I'll say the same thing tomorrow when it's just a bunch of PvPs going out in tomorrow's group. But
all I see is 2 blobs of stalkers, and you see all these numbers and stuff.
I see the numbers, the colors speak to me, yeah. All right, Baneling Nest is going to be coming down from both players as well, so just totally mirrored builds coming out from both of them, playing as standardly as possible, as GgMaChine needs a little bit of a PP coming on in as I get thrown back up on the screen. Apparently, I was not prepared for that. Ziggy catching me off guard by that. But anyways, yeah, we got a bit of a pause coming in from GgMaChine, and I don't know, hopefully he will get that sorted out nice and quickly.
Yeah, we'll get this sorted quick. We'll jump back into the action as soon as we can. Like you said, it's very standard openings here. Quick third base, Baneling Nest behind it. And then you can choose. Do you want to be the guy being aggressive, make a tunneling Bane, shove it across the map? The other guy tries to make a little bit less and defend, have a couple more drones, and then it's his turn once he makes more army. You have that kind of seesaw. As EVZ has kind of evolved over the years, that people are making less and less Ling Bane. Like 10 years ago, it would be like Ling Bane being thrown at each other for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then one guy eventually gets a road transition or something. But nowadays, I feel like they make less and less Ling Bane than they used to.
Right.
Mutalist, very popular in this matchup right now. So kind of Roach Muta, even Roach Corruptor. These are all viable compositions that our players can go for once they get their eco going.
Yeah, I do, honestly, whenever I do watch ZVZ, I think the most interesting part in general is the early game Ling Bane Wars. Like that is, of course, it's very, high octane, the very explosive, as the Banelings, of course, are literally exploding on everything, but it's just very fun and interesting because it could just kind of turn on a dime's edge, and it's just very fun to see if any of those interactions go. I mean, the micro is like crazy with, like a single Ling trying to split off to kill focus down a Baneling and whatnot, so it's always the most fun part of ZVZ, so I do like whenever I see those Baneling nests coming on in, and I do love to see when that massive flood of Lings starts to hit the production tab, because I know that we're in for some spicy stuff and not just boring Roach versus Roach.
What?
Garbage.
Where did that go? Whoa, what happened there?
Hey man, Roach, who wants to watch Roach versus Roach? No one wants to watch that.
Roach Ravager.
Oh, okay, sure. Roach Ravager versus Roach Ravager. Oh, the bile. Oh god, I moved back half a meter and then go back in.
I mean,
sick micro.
You could say that about any unit comp. Oh, the Marines just steer him in and out. Oh.
Yeah, but
really, he started stepping like a sticker.
Cooler. It looks more fun when you see the Marines like fan out or whatever. Yeah. But like Roach Ravager, they're just like throwing up on each other.
You do hit like a bunch of places at once. You can drop. You can burrow them. There's loads of cool stuff you can do with Roach. I'm not having this Roach slander.
Well, I'm gonna keep giving it because it's definitely the most boring interaction.
All right.
Anyways, we got our
Agree to
players back.
disagree.
Yeah, we got our ping
We're back.
settled here, so GgMaChine is right back on in. So we'll see, of course, how many lings each player does decide to go into, or if it's just going to be a bit of a passive approach, expecting the other player to be more aggressive.
Indeed, as Ling Speed does finish up now, that is the cue to be aggressive if you want to do so. Rogue already going for a Roach Warren here at 33 drones. Going to be a little bit earlier than GgMaChine's. Going to get a defensive Bane as well. Another gas. Oh, yeah, Rogue might be... Well, yeah, here's the choice. He can just kind of macro up here. Like, earlier Roach Warren doesn't really mean anything. You can pull the trigger. There's that classic 35 drone Roachling all in. Or you can just make a few defensive ones, drone up your third, take your fourth, etc. GgMaChine making 8 drones at a time there. Very nice. He's actually in a good spot economically here.
I was going to say, that looks a little bit like... I felt like a little bit greedy on his end, just trying to get a couple extra drones here just to make sure that he can fill out his economy, but it feels like he doesn't know exactly if Rogue is going to be pulling the trigger or not, and there's a lot of extra roaches coming on in, so he's got to get this information very quickly right now to know that there's not any extra drones coming out from Rogue. Otherwise, these extra drones that GgMaChine has got in the production tab right now could really bite him in the butt.
We need to see a round of roaches here, not a round of drones. Okay, yes, he's making roaches. So he's 10 workers ahead. That's kind of, you know, not completely crazy. It's possible to hold this here if he makes nothing but roaches from this point on. This queen actually going to fall down super early unless there's a transfuse available, which there is not. So we'll get that with just a handful of lings. Nice pick off there by Rogue. And here come the roaches.
Yeah, lots of lings were in the production tab there for a moment there for GgMaChine, but a couple extra drones as well. But he sees, with his overlords, he sees the roaches marching across the map, so he should know what is coming his way, but he's going to try to filter in a couple more drones anyways. Gets a surround on a few of the forward roaches, but nice micro from Rogue. Will be able to keep a few of them alive by morphing them into the Ravagers, and now the rest of the units are starting to make their name. Can GgMaChine actually make this defense work? He's only got a couple of Banelings and some roaches on his end as the rest of the units start to flood on in.
The one Bane remains. Oh, tries to get a good connection there. It's not as good as it perhaps needed to be. Rogue has just a little bit more. The couple bios go down. The queens fall back into the natural here, and so many units falling for GgMaChine. I think Rogue has so much here. The Spine Crawlers, though, help out a lot. They do so much damage against these roaches. But here comes the next wave of Zerglings, Gemini.
Yeah, this is looking pretty rough so far. I mean, the hole is being held for now in this natural, but there's still so much more coming out from Rogue right now. The Spine Crawlers trying to get put into a position to help out with this defense, but they're not even really going to be able to help at this point. The Roaches and Ravagers able to just run away or even just kill it in the first place. The drones being forced to be pulled, and that's going to be a single G coming out of GgMaChine, as he unfortunately will be bowing out of the RSL Group A.
GgMaChine.
GgMaChine.
Yeah. Unfortunate there. He doesn't really kind of get to play his game and show us what he can do. But
hey man, that's what happens. You're playing with the big boys. They're not going to let you play with your toys so easily.
Indeed, yeah. Rogue just taking it to him there. 2 very aggressive builds. The 12 pool, obviously, with the Ling Flood follow-up, and then just a good old Roach Ling all in.
Yeah, man. Not too much to say with that one. I mean, he just didn't get the scout off quite early enough, and even when he kind of did get the scout, it seemed like he was still trying to fit in a few more extra drones.
Yeah, there's 3 drones.
Like... Yeah, I'm really curious about what the thought process there is, because he's just... did he not notice how many roaches were actually across the map? Like, I'm not sure. So a bit unfortunate from GgMaChine, but a good showing overall, I would say. You know, it was nice to see him in the event, and that one game, of course, versus Classic was pretty hopeful for him in that previous series, but... I mean, you can't really expect too much coming into a group like this.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll continue to improve and impress in the future. He's very young, only 16. That second game versus Classic, he looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, his fundamentals, just the macro and the creep spread and all that stuff looked really good to me. So I think he has a bright future in the game. That is going to take us to the last match of the day, though. GgMaChine will be out of the group. Classic has already advanced, which means the elimination match, the decider match,
one of those,
is going to be Rogue versus Maru once again.
Yeah, it's a nice little rematch coming on up. Will be great to see if Maru will continue that success from the last one, or if Rogue will continue his dominance from last season. Stick around, we got that coming up very soon. More RSL after this. Puts a timer on when they can actually make more units.
Going from those casters on screen to these casters. How do they change their clothes so fast?
Whoa, magic over here, man.
Excuse me.
Oh my God, he's dying.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We got a great match to close out the night. It is Maru versus Rogue.
Oh yeah, a rematch coming in from earlier today where Maru was able to win it 2-1 with some mech play as well. It was very interesting to see. Rogue, of course, trying for an interesting Ling Queen drop all in as well in that first game. Wasn't able to win with that one, but then kind of brought it back with some decent, good, just crazy, chaotic late game versus the mech. And then unable to win it again with the Mutiling Bane in the last game.
It does seem like some of these games, Rogue really wants to just flip the game on its head and get out before it starts. He had a lot of games like that in GSL as well recently, and in the previous season of RSL. Rogue, I'm still getting used to the fact that he's back and he's in incredible form. This is one of the greatest players of all time.
One of
them. Sorry,
not the.
Artosis wargs into my mind. The greatest player of all time, and you know I'm right. Look at that workout thing behind him, man.
Yeah, man.
He's just doing dips,
just doing ab crunches mid-series and everything. Yeah, gotta keep it toned in the middle of the series.
The thing is, he is just god tier. It's so great to have him back here now. I think Maru is maybe in his head just slightly favored.
Yeah,
it's 55-45. But Rogue can do it for sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, they had a great series in the lower bracket finals last season. It was an incredible showing from Rogue to make that lower bracket run, like we kind of mentioned earlier in the day as well. But unfortunately, not able to quite do it in the first series they had today. So let's see if Rogue can bring back that form that we saw so nicely from him last season.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fun one. This is a huge map, by the way. A lot of room on both sides to get a bunch of bases, not get pushed immediately. I feel like I'm battling the hiccups right now. Somewhere between this break and the last one, I have the hiccups.
Just kept going higher and higher.
I'm just getting higher and higher. And then eventually,
you're breathing in a helium balloon.
By the time we get to the tech here, I'm just going to sound like the village drunk. And they just got to... Try to defend
the
here.
Marines.
5 bases versus 3. Look at the worker count.
Oh my God.
I feel like normally if I get the hiccups when I'm doing this, somehow I make it go away and I don't know how to, how to do that.
Yeah, no, that happens to me too.
Somehow I just go no with my body.
You're not going to ruin this cast.
Yeah, but it's not working right now.
So that's okay. It all happens to the best of us, Tasteless. It's going to be a CC first coming on in from Maru in this game as well. Going to be throwing back similar to what he did in the first series as well. So Rogue is going to be having to react a little bit to that, knowing, of course, that Maru is going to get a little bit more greedy. But he's not going to have that information for quite some time, if ever, because he doesn't have his Overlord anywhere close, as it was scouting for Proxy 2 racks. His Lings are not quite out just yet, so it's going to be a while for him to actually get that information. But like you said earlier, a very big map, a very wide open map, so very good choice, I would say, from Maru to try and bring out the CC first in this map particularly.
Yeah, this is, if we're going to have our longest game tonight, I think it's going to be on this one. Just the way this map is structured, the way it's kind of built out. Which I kind of am down for. I mean, if we're going to have 2 players, we're going to have the craziest, longest game ever. These are the 2 guys that you want to kind of have there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had some crazy mech games just in the series before as well, so I'm curious to see if Maru just wants to continue going with that since it already worked so well for him, or if he's going to try to now do a little bit of the mind game scenario here against Rogue and just switch it up over more into some bio. But it looks like he's going to be going into a very fast second factory, actually, much faster than what he was doing in the previous series. So this is still a switch up, but it's still the style that he was playing in that last series.
Could this be Hellions into Cyclones right away?
It could be like a really fast battle mech, maybe. Yeah, possibly.
I was just talking about how they're far apart and that it's hard to push each other. But when you go for that mobile battle mech style, you really get there super fast. So maybe the idea is Zerg's going to be a little bit too comfortable expanding and growing, and you can kind of come in there right in the mid game and take them out. Excuse me.
Yeah. A third factory.
You cast this, and I'm going to drink a glass of water upside down.
Go ahead. Yeah, you hold your breath for 60 seconds. Do I need to scare you? Oh my God, there's Hellions in your natural.
You go, the Patreon went down. Oh, the hiccups are gone. Don't scare me like that.
Oh boy. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we're gonna get a lot of Hellions coming out. It looks like for now. Actually, yeah. Then going into the Cyclone. So you were bang on with that one. It's gonna be the Cyclone mech, the Battle mech coming on in with the Cyclone upgrade coming in as well. So 3 factories, nice and quickly for Maru. Gonna ramp up that production. Gets that 3rd CC as well. Of course, you don't need the Stargate or the Starport, I should say, in this scenario when you're going for this build. So
yeah,
we'll just be for the 3 factories and then that very fast 3rd.
Nothing.
Ooh. No, he's going to be very, very confused when he suddenly sees 8 Hellions and 3 Cyclones at his front door.
People don't do this that often anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, when this comes out, it's going to hit really hard. And again, it's all designed to work, I think, because the map is so big. Because you feel like you can drone up. I mean, a lot of times on maps like this, you're like, we're both going to be playing single player for a while.
Yeah.
We're going to be powering up for a while. I'm sorry, I still got it, man. It's not going away.
Oh my god, I feel your pain. I know. I can't imagine.
I hate this. I'm trying to make my epic tasteless
You're just
points
in casting purgatory right now.
As I just feel the muscles in my chest slowly begin to just grip me.
You're at the whim of your diaphragm right now, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Well, yeah. Let's see how much, of course, this can actually do once it actually does hit the field. Rogue needs to get this information as fast as possible. He's trying to throw those lings out, of course, to get this information.
Baneling Nest, not exactly great to have here. You know, this is the most kiteable composition you can have here. And, yeah, I mean, let's just see what he can do. He's going to come out. There are a number of queens here, so you have to have a certain amount of overwhelming damage here to make this work. He's going to get the first Overlord. There's actually going to be a supply block.
Yeah, that's actually pretty huge right now because, of course, you need to get a lot of reinforcements coming in to make sure this push does get dealt with very easily. Nice couple lings on the surround, but it's not enough. Rogue is actually just kind of melting right here as the Cyclone Hellion is really doing some damage and not really getting anything in return. The Queens are falling one after another. He's going to get right on top of the drones as well. Overlord's going to continue to fall as the Banelings finally do make their name, but I mean, you can just kite away from them. There's no speed, even moving one Hellion to body block into those as well. This is going terribly for Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue is getting beaten up pretty bad here, and he's going to be hitting the Morphine Banelings right over here. A very weak Queen to defend and nothing really else. I think he's going to have a really tough time not just getting wiped right now. This damage is probably going to snowball.
Yeah, you can see Maru is even getting extra factories on the back end. Blue Flame's going to be coming on up for the transition, if it even needs to come out, splitting the Cyclone Hellion as well. Maru coming in with a very fast game number 1, 6 minutes and 30. Look at that. Giving Tasteless time to recover with his hiccups.
Still a little bit here.
You got water? This is the sparkling water. I feel like is doing it to you right now. That's you're too big on the sparkling. You got to get that still stuff, man.
It is the still stuff. That's the good stuff. Yeah, well, I guess would sparkling water give you hiccups more likely?
I mean, it's got CO2, right? It's like, you know, air and whatever.
Okay, Mr. Scientist. You make a good point. But we don't have any still. Oh, no, we have to. I don't want to open it up. But it's too late.
This is a real big problem.
You guys are so stingy. I'm like, there's only one more possible game. 1 or 2. I could just make this last.
Oh, my God. But yeah, that was just kind of Rogue, I think, being a bit unaware as to what was going on that game. It seemed like he didn't get the information.
It was well hidden. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was actually a great build from Maru here. And by the way, not the macro game we thought we were going to have at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, guys, I'm going to put myself on the line here and say this might be the longest game of the night.
And it was one of the shortest.
Yeah.
If we discount what that one ZVZ that we played.
Yeah, no, it was very short. But honestly, kind of a genius strategy there from Maru. So we're going to go into Game 2, Old Republic.
Another big map. Man, I say that this might be the longest one.
This is going to be the one. We're going to be right one of these times. Yeah, let's see what happens. Again, Maru winning this game, he's going to move on, and Rogue will be out, which is tragic. I mean, Rogue went to the finals last time.
I know, it's insane. I mean, both seasons, this season and last season, I felt like it's had such crazy results. I mean, this group in general is already ridiculous that we have to get rid of one of the possibly best of each race in this group. And then last season, we were getting rid of, Raynor. Clem Classic was bowing out in the first round of the tournament, and now we're going to have to say goodbye to either Maru or Rogue. And Rogue is putting it all on a proxied hatchery. Now, this is something that we love to see out of Rogue. He definitely loves to go for these types of styles.
He is, I think, the best at this in the world, by the way.
Yeah. Now that Dark especially is in the military, he was the other guy that would bring this out more often, so...
So he's going to throw it right down over here.
Oh, it's in vision.
I was about to say.
That's crazy.
I was about to say, I guess you don't see this. But yeah, apparently that's in vision.
That's insane. I wonder
What's
if
up now,
Rogue
bro?
even knows about that interaction. Because if the depot
Rogue.
was made on the right instead of the left, he wouldn't actually have that information.
Rogue's looking at this. He's like, I got to probably start doing my dips on that machine behind me earlier tonight.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to have to get a lot of exercise to get this rage out.
Yeah. He's sitting there thinking, I wish I didn't buy such a tall air purifier in my house. It's almost as high as my dip machine.
I bet that's exactly what he's thinking
right now. It took up
right
so
now.
much room. That,
Oh, sick. We can blow it off. Yeah, look at that. It is very large. You're right,
That's
actually.
a large...
Is it an air purifier only? It's got to be like an air conditioner as well, right? There's no way that's just an air purifier.
I'm like, I got news for you. That's a PlayStation 6. Okay? It's the first one on the market. That's a PlayStation 6
It's $1,000.
Yeah. And GTA 6 isn't going to be out on it for a long time, all right? PlayStation 7's coming out before that. So this build has gone terribly.
Yeah.
I love that he's just continuously pulling SCVs. You know, when you deal with proxies like this, you always know like the exact number of workers to pull to like snowball it down to nothing. So, dare I say, this is going terribly. This is as bad as it could be.
Yeah, I'm not going to call you out on that one, Tasteless.
Yeah,
This is not looking too good so far for Rogue. I mean,
wouldn't it be funny if he didn't cancel though? We were just like, whoa,
well,
it
got worse.
Yeah, it got worse.
Yeah, I mean, this is eventually going to get killed off, and then the CC can just lift off and move on over.
So,
I mean, it's not like you're playing against the Protoss where this is going to delay their Nexus so long that like the Terran can just make it onto the right and then just move it. So this is not really going to be that crazy damage.
How many times... Oh, my God. I actually forgot this was an Evo. I was like, how did the hatchery make so fast and be smaller? So how many cancels were in there total? Was it 2 hatch cancels?
I think it was 2. I wasn't paying.
So that's
super
minus
close
200?
attention. 160.
Minus 160?
Yep.
Yeah, I really put myself out there for nothing. That was...
First the math.
It's like, I'm
trying to do math for something you definitely don't know.
The 6th letter in the alphabet is M, right? No, it's not. Stop. No one's asking
You
for you
don't
to do this.
need to give this information.
Go back to having hiccups so you try to talk less. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Well, I know this is bad for Rogue. He's probably done the best he possibly can try to come up with.
Right.
All things considered. But yeah, I want to see where this is going to be after this. By the way, it's a Roach Warren pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, when we look at this, like the amount of times that Maru has had to pull his SCVs to kill these hatcheries in the Evo chamber, like he's losing a decent amount of mining during all of this. So it's not like it's come at it's not for free that this is happening, that Rogue has been denied. So I mean, perhaps I think Rogue has still kind of managed to come out in some way with this, with the third base already finished as well. The lair is already finished very early, so his drone count is also actually 2 ahead. So yeah, I don't think this is actually going to be the worst game ever out of Rogue. I feel like he's found a way to make this still pretty, it's salvageable for sure.
Yeah, so he's going to see exactly where positionally Rogue's at. Rogue is going to be getting the first couple of roaches out here. I think the Banshee's a great idea. Go for Cloak. There's a chance Zerg skimps on detection. Doesn't have Overseers, something like that. But, with the Overseer coming in here, never mind.
There it is.
There it is.
Putting your spot.
There it is,
You're on the spot again.
I'm like, no, I think he's going to cancel this Banshee now and make a Raven. No!
We don't need these predictions, Tasteless.
Stop! No, in my head, I was thinking of no Overseers back at home. But yeah, he just goes in there and scouts it. So it's like, all right, well.
I mean, it makes sense as well, though, that they would skip on the spores, though, because like you were behind economically in the early game. So like it would make the thought process is correct in that way. So the Overseer does scout and will be a cancel on that Cloak, but a couple Hellions actually making their way into the main base will kill 7 drones out of seemingly nowhere, as these units will eventually get killed off by some of these roaches. But that's some good damage coming out from Maru with a pretty lackluster amount of units, able to get good damage after a game that already started with a failed proxy hatch.
So, from here with the mech style, it's going to be a little bit slower to start. Will we have the battle mech though? I wonder. I guess I'm. When I think Maru,
put yourself on the spot again, Tasteless. What do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be battle mech?
I think he'll go for Cyclones.
I think it's going to be tank mech, actually.
Tank mech, yes.
I think he's going to rush out Thors.
So he's going to come over here with these roaches. He's going to hit first. And this actually could do, I think, a decent amount.
It could at least force the third to maybe lift, but the double Banshee, I think if there's only one Banshee, I think he maybe stays a little bit longer, but since there's already 2 out, that's already going to be a pretty large amount. Oh, actually, there's Queens. Never mind, he's dropped Queens. I totally missed this. Okay, yeah. So he's actually being way more committed than I initially thought. I thought he was just going to try to cancel the third or force it to lift, but he is just going to try to go down into the front right now. I mean, there's only a few units overall for Maru to defend, so will he actually get this to work?
Oh, man, this bunker is somehow still alive. What have I seen?
Jesus Christ. Repair is actually insane. Bile's getting thrown down to try and force them off, but then they just go right back on again. This bunker is not dying.
I can't. It's still there.
Gee, oh, my God.
Can you imagine being inside of that bunker firing?
It's like, guys, please keep drilling this thing.
To keep this bunker alive.
I mean, 36 SCVs have died during all of this, though, so just because the bunker stayed alive doesn't mean the game is actually won, because everything else around it has been getting killed.
It's coming down.
Eventually get killed.
Oh, my God.
Holy moly. That was absolutely ridiculous. The tank shots were going off consistently behind that as well, so they were able to kill a good amount of the roaches, but again, 37 SCVs getting killed off. Is this something that Maru can actually recover from?
I feel like Rogue could break him. This looks pretty tough. Without the bunker now, you just bile down the tanks. It's a lot harder to take shots in there. I guess with the one tank on the high ground, though, that's something, right? Mm-hmm. There's a third command center that's been floated back into the main here, so we can still keep making SCVs. Oh.
Nicely done to keep that Liberator alive as well. Any biles that are wasted is going to be really good for Maru. That one's not going to be able to get dodged. We'll kill that off. Get some high ground vision as well to be able to kill one of these tanks. Second tank forced to siege really close by as well, so that's going to get killed off. And Rogue, with this attack, will even up the series again.
And he did go for tank mech.
And it
did happen. That bunker was insane.
I can't believe how long that lasted.
I don't think I have ever seen a bunker go through that.
That was ridiculous, man.
That was
like 5 renovations all in a row.
It was crazy. It was like in the second Matrix movie where there's like just tons of Agent Smiths fighting and there's like just SCVs like trying to come repair the bunker. Everybody's coming in there.
Oh my God.
That was wild.
That was a crazy game. And that started with a proxy hatch, by the way, remember?
Yeah, that failed. That totally failed.
Yeah, it was not good. And, well, I wonder actually how that goes as well with the, if the drones don't die to that Hellion poke as well. Because that was also with 7 drones dying to like 3 Hellions and a Reaper or something like that.
Yeah.
And he still was able to get that type of damage.
I guess it shows you that, as much as your kind of econ cheese, you're like wrenching the gears of their macro play, was getting tripped up. It actually still slowed Terran down a lot.
Yeah.
The SCVs having to attack stuff all the time and not mine is huge.
Yeah, it ended up having some sort of effect, and Rogue is able to capitalize on it. Let's see if game number 3 will also go his way, or if Maru is going to rally back and take this second placement into the playoffs out of Group A.
Okay, Maru in the top left, Rogue in the bottom right. Let's try again. This is a big map. This could be the long game. Huh? This could be it.
He might go mech.
Yeah.
It might be battle mech.
I feel like I'm at a caster roulette table, and I'm like, it's going to be 7 this time.
Ziggy's got the pistol just lined up to your head when it's not happening.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, so we've got... another chance for Mar to maybe go Mac. I don't know. It's been interesting to see that he very much leans towards Mac right now. Kind of a statement on his views on the matchup.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's so consistent. Usually you would see it just filtered in maybe once or twice in a couple series, and it's mostly bio play, especially considering Maru's just really good at using bio. Like, he's so good at the Marine Micro. He's very good at that. Has the knowledge of all the interactions really well, but yeah, he's just going for mech just like every single game. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things. It's a different game for the Zerg to play, right? I mean, that's always been one of the intriguing things. Ever since even the early days of StarCraft 1, like when people started going for mech, because I was playing like, right when the game came out, it was like, oh, that's interesting. So you just like make the barracks to make the factories, you know? And it makes for such a different type of game. But yeah, having the kind of the ability in Legacy to go for that battle mech style where you're going for the Cyclones and the Hellions makes for a very different type of game.
Yeah, it's interesting because like you have to be able to get the scout off early. That's what they're doing because, like you said, it is a totally different game. It's a different mentality into how the game actually functions, just because of the tendencies of mech. Very turtley, very slow, very passive normally. But then you have the battle mech style, which is the total opposite, but it's still mech. So you have to still have the other part in the back of your head and to be able to account for both possible styles. So you have to be just so on top of the scouting, and you have to have your reaction correct. Otherwise, if you just do the wrong thing, respond in the wrong way, then you'll just get blown open, like in that first game that we saw. Like the battle mech was just not scouted properly at all, and Rogue just fumbled the game completely.
Okay, so he's going to come in here, do some scouting, see if he can't kill anything, at least force a spore temporarily. And we're kind of waiting here. It's double command center. Which do we have a lot of mech off double command center?
He did do it a couple times.
Yeah,
he did do it, but it was off of a factory after the barracks. This time it is actually going to be the second barracks as well, so it's going to be more of like a 2-1-1 style, it looks like, coming out of Maru. So he will go for the switch up this time. Very unlikely that he will be going into mech, as he does throw it on that third barracks as well. So not actually a 2-1-1 at all. It's going to be just a straight up 3 barracks with that third CC as well. So we'll see if he wants to like power up super heavily into like a really fast 2-2-8 rack style as well. Could be very strong with this. Losing the Reaper in the main base, unfortunately, but does get the scout off at least that nothing crazy is happening. But then the lair does get thrown down immediately after that Reaper gets killed.
Yeah, with the lair starting up here, we're going to see that tech go up pretty fast. Double E-base, so this is going to be your vanilla ice cream Terran style. The classic macro. Let's focus everything into the mid game, into the late game, and really not try to do a whole lot. Now, Rogue, he does like to be pretty poppy in ZVT now. Like, he does like to kind of get in there and try to go for kill moves pretty fast. I don't know if that's going to happen this game or not, but he seems to be doing it more often than just going for macro play.
Yeah, I mean, he's thrown in the Spire as well, trying to go for the Mutiling Bane, which is definitely catering towards that style as well, just being really aggressive, being in the Terran's face. And he almost used it to good effect versus Maru earlier in the day, but just barely wasn't able to snowball the fights in his favor. We'll see if he wants to go for it again, and yes, he will be going for that with the faster lair, so all those extra gases coming on in as well. So Fast Spire coming on in from Rogue, but this time it's not going to be going against mech, it's going to be going against the bioplay, which is what you more normally see it going up against.
Yeah, this is kind of classical TVZ here. So, yeah, it's going to be powering up here on both sides. Huge open map, by the way. So Rogue's going to have to do a lot of work to get this paved up with creep.
Yeah, gets the scout as well, sees that many Marines coming on out from Maru, so knows that it's not going to be mech for the first time, it feels like, in the entire 2 series that they've played. I think this is actually the first time that Maru has played full bio in these 2 series, surprisingly enough. So, yeah, it will be that switch up, but of course, Rogue gets the nice early scout with the Overseer, so will be fully aware as to what's going on. Needs to identify exactly how committed Maru is going to be on these early barracks, of course, with the 1-1 coming in as well. Very, looks like he's really kind of gearing up for that big 2-2 timing later on in the game. As he will be throwing that third base over to its location, and then the scout coming off from Maru as well to confirm that it is going to be Mutas he's going up against as well. Yeah. And when those Mutas come out, he is going to do his first dive in, try to get some damage off here, at least force some turrets. And it looks like Maru's turret timing's pretty perfect, honestly. He's going to start these over here right now. You never want to make those too soon. Right.
It's you get them too soon, they don't really get any value. You want to get them basically right before they can show up.
All right, Overseer's going to try to dip on in for just another little bit of information, try to see what they can see what it can find. Wants to see. I don't know if it actually confirmed the double eBay or not yet, but of course you might be able to just kind of assume that coming out from Maru just based off of how the game has gone so far. He's not really been aggressive at all. You see a lot of Marines, so you assume that this is probably the play, as he's now positioning himself towards this third base to try and pounce it before he's able to get many defenses set on up. The SCV is being used as a block on the turret, but then Maru realizing how committed Rogue actually is here, needs to just pull the SCVs away as the rest of the Marines do come on over to help support. The couple medevacs coming out as well will help to heal everything, but then the Mutas can just go right back up into the main base.
Yeah. So, you know, gets 5 kills over there, not too much. Combat shield is done. Air weapons is being upgraded here for the Mutas. So, like, he's committed to that classic Ling, Bane, Muta style.
Yeah, we'll see how much he actually wants to continue this. Of course, the Banelings need to get added into these engagements as well to really start to swing it for Rogue. He tried to go in there with that kind of really early attack just to try and catch Maru off guard, hoping that he was a little bit more out of position, so unable to do too much. Banelings coming on in, not able to get the SCVs, but will be able to get some of those supply depots, so that will supply block Maru for now, and also getting the reactors on these 2 outlying barracks will actually make it
good.
Yeah, really good to deny any more production, along with those supply depots getting killed off.
Yeah, I mean, getting 2 reactors, it's such a nightmare to remake a reactor.
It takes so long. It's
yeah.
like 50 seconds or something. It's insane.
So, it's going to be a lot of downtime for that. Rogue going up into 2 bases. The creep is already to the middle of the map, so he's spreading this out pretty nicely. Again, it's going to be a lot of creep spreading here. This map is huge. Meanwhile, we're getting Burrow up here. I mean, Rogue going heavy into all the upgrades that he needs.
All right, going to posture over on the right-hand side. The Muta is going into the natural, trying to draw some of those Marines away. He tries to get a medevac. Will be not able to get that. Wow, I can't believe that actually escaped there. Last second, Widowmine getting almost a ridiculous shot on the Lings as well, but able to pull those ones back. But then re-engages anyways with the rest of the Mutas and the Banelings, but plenty of Marines coming in for the reinforcements from Maru. Nothing else really set up from Rogue during all of that. Would have been nice if he had some Banelings coming in a little bit earlier perhaps, but it's just 2. It's not really going to do anything. The Widowmine is more than enough to deal with those, so not really any damage found from Rogue after those initial couple engagements with the Mutas, and that's going to allow Maru the time he needs to be able to really bolster up his army and really start to flourish in this mid-game.
Nice snipes there on the mine. Maru, again, just continuing to power heavily over here. Rogue almost maxed out, really filling in that whole bottom level of the map right now. Again, though, it's a long travel distance for Terran to push. And it's a lot of creep to try to clear here. I mean, you have to basically clean several screens worth of creep before you're going to be in striking range of any hatchery.
Yeah, a couple of Banelings were killed off on the left-hand side, but that allows Rogue to just pounce on the units over on the right. We'll be able to chase them on back over to the Terran side of the map, as the rest of the units in the middle will be able to continue clearing some of this creep, as Rogue is just kind of waiting for these units, and a couple burrowed Banelings also getting thrown down on that ramp. We'll see if those can come into play a little bit later, as the rest of the units will just kind of walk past them for now. That was a Moon moment right there, man.
Yeah.
He really whiffed that one.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Didn't get anywhere near as much done as he probably thought he was going to get.
Flashbacks to Jungle Basin, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, for now, you know, we're waiting for Maru to take his turn to try to push out. The Zerg may try to rely on heavily counterattacking the third base, since, you know, Maru doesn't have a ton of expansions here. I gotta say, man, these Mutas are getting some big snipes. Taking these SCVs, making the barracks out here. Thor's coming back.
It always looks so funny when the Thor is in the meta.
They're in fetal position. Yeah. It turns into a refrigerator box. It just gets transported across the map.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's going to try to, of course, drop those to get the crazy long-range attack over onto the Mutas. It's quite a fun little interaction to see, but not able to get it, as actually 21 SCVs suddenly are dying out of absolutely nowhere. It seems like a Baneling run-by just got thrown down over onto the third base, so insane economic damage coming out from Rogue as he now starts to really pull ahead in that economy, and Maru probably now wanting to send it across the map to get any sort of counter damage done.
Okay, here comes the push now, right through the middle. The counterattack on the third is so massive, he's going to lose that base. but he's going to have to get back home here in a little bit. Oh, my God. Is he going to go all the way up in here? Oh,
my
God!
When do you see this many Banelings rolling into an entire Terran army? That was insane!
Feral Banelings blasted through the whole army and then just went, who's next?
That was ridiculous. Oh my God. We just said flashbacks of Moon, flashbacks of Nest T as well.
Yeah.
Rogue is bringing every single trick
Just for
from
a second,
the book.
the screen is like some static comes out. You see Nest T's angry face show up on the screen and goes right back to this game.
Oh my God.
I think Maru might have just died.
He's dead. He's got nothing at this point. He's got 41 SCVs. He's down to almost 100 supply. Sure, this army is still kind of lasting for just a little bit more, but the reinforcements are going to come on, and Ultras are coming onto the field as well. Most of the army supply is medevacs.
It's all because of those dips that Rogue's been doing on that workout machine behind him. I'm telling you guys, you haven't been doing enough dips, you Zerg players.
Dude, Maru is getting slapped out of the tournament. This is ridiculous. He's down under 100 supply.
This is insane. Look at this. He's literally maxed out. There's no GG. Ooh. Bam, 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 bam.
Dude, that was crazy. I can't even believe that. Mapu going back to that fight, that was the last thing I expected to see. Just a wall, a sea of Banelings rolling into an entire, like it was
crazy.
2010.
Well, what happened? Was he on move command for a second, or what?
I think he was.
We got like a split second to kind of look before it was happening.
It looked like Maru was preoccupied with the harassment on his side. He was like moving all the third base and everything. He was trying to recoup there, and he just had that moment, that fraction of indecisiveness, and his army was not moving, and the Banelings just plow right on through.
That was crazy.
That was all. I want to replay. I need an instant replay.
There's something
dude.
about it too, because like I've casted these two guys specifically
Yeah.
so many times I don't even know. I couldn't even keep track. I'm so used to seeing an epic, long, like they're both so perfect. No one can really get one over on the other, and then we're getting more bases, we're getting more of the map, and then it's gonna be like, is Maru going to take that final Terran base and win this 40 minutes from now? That was like, just crazy how fast that ended.
That was ridiculous. I mean, talk about a cinematic end, man. That was just absolutely ridiculous. Rogue and Classic, the two coming out of Group A. Some great games overall, and tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to get some more bangers as well. But lots of Protoss. It's a PvP. It's a Protoss slaughterhouse coming in with Solar as the one Zerg as well. We'll see if he can survive.
Protoss Civil War. GgMaChine, shout-outs to him for qualifying for RSL. We hope he comes back and plays in our tournament again. I love seeing new players. I know he's not new. He's been around for a while, but I haven't been able to cast him yet. But I appreciate him. Coming here. I'm super excited to be casting. Shameless coming up here as well. Shameless, usually what they call me when I promote the Patreon.
We'll get that in a couple slides, don't worry.
That's coming. Guys, it's a whole StarCraft month. Did you know that? Happy StarCraft month. We get a month now, guys. Actually, it's 2 months. Yeah, I just realized it goes all the way back into... I'm done talking. All right, so... I don't know. So, guys, if you want to join us here, we're on the weekends, Korea time. We did have to move our schedule because the GSL Finals is going to be on Sunday.
More shameless self-plugs for my own other tournament.
We'll be casting up. Tasteless will be there. For GGs, but also for his analysis. So we're going to have a broadcast on the 15th on Friday, and then we're going to be right back to it. And then on the final 2 days for RSL, we've compacted things a little bit more. We went from taking 4 days and squishing them into 3. We've taken now 3 and just mushed them into 2. And I think this is a lot better for our event. I do like having, I want this show to be episodic and seasonal so that, people can tune in, for weeks and enjoy it and kind of talk to their friends about it or catch up if they miss an episode. But I also want to have something that's a little bit longer for the end because it's kind of fun to get everybody together and have some more games.
Yeah, we've also been graced with the official partner Archon Studio coming on in yet again to help us out for season number 5. We've got tons of their stuff coming on in as well. You guys saw throughout the, when we're on the camera, we have the Protoss starter set as well coming on in. So Ziggy's been hard at work as well, building all of these little things, and they look so nice.
That's right, guys. We've got Ziggy in a sweatshop right now, painting these figurines one by one. We got him tied to a pole. We give him a little bit of water, but he's not allowed to leave until he's done making all of our figurines. No, honestly, the tabletop miniatures game looks amazing. We're so grateful they're supporting, what we're doing here, and just supporting StarCraft esports as well. This is obviously a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of the products here in the studio. It is sick.
Yeah, they look great now that we're actually getting them built by our wonderful sweatshop worker.
That's right. That's right. And guys, sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/Revive SC2. We hope you consider joining us. If you're in the position to support us financially here, it would mean the world to us. And that money goes to the production, the prize pool. We had an offline event in Seoul last year. We rented out like an actual esports venue, staffed it. So, consider supporting our cause here. Patreon.com/Revive SC2. Look at Tasteless. Now, I want to just point something out that I've gotten better at as a YouTuber is look at my O face. Look at my O face, all right? You could throw a banana across someone, boom, goes right in there, okay? Don't go too crazy with your imagination, all right? I'm just saying. So join us on YouTube. We're upload. We got the podcast we're doing here of the After Our Dark episodes. We got spoiler-free thumbnails that are still clickbaity.
Yeah. We want to try to get your attention, but only in a little bit, not to try to actually spoil everything.
And we try to put some drama in the thumbnails. It's like, we need to talk. And it's like day 2, season 5. No, but seriously, we need to grow this thing. We are like about 16 years late to starting a YouTube channel for StarCraft 2. Yeah. So if you can subscribe there, like it, leave a comment, game the algorithm.
Yes, we will like your comments. Just try to leave them there. It would help us out a lot. We've appreciated the support.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
No, I'm just excited for tomorrow. Lots of Protoss, and I love Protoss players. So
it's
going to be great.
Guys, we'll see you in about 24 hours. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Bye-bye.